Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. Oh my goodness, do we have a lot of updates for you guys compared to yesterday's live stream, dude. We have seen a lot of intensification and a lot of new information with this storm here. We are now expecting a major hurricane upon landfall. Can't say I'm not surprised, to be honest with you, the way models have been talking for the last couple of days, but things are definitely really kicking up there overall. Anyways, what's up everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see who we got so far. We have ourselves PT, Seago, we have, let's see here, Weatherman, we have Rich, we have On Jupiter, we have Az, we have, let's see here, we have Pete, we have Pilots, Tabletop, dude. Thanks, man. Appreciate the $2 super chat, dude. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. I'll get to your thing here in a second. We have Ponderosa. We have Spencer and Tom. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Of course, everybody else who's watching, just not chatting. Hope y'all are doing well. Alright, so like I said, currently we are seeing this thing is a tropical storm here with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. We're already gusting up to hurricane strength. We're already gusting to hurricane strength. Central low is down in the 990s now, 998 millibars, and rapidly dropping. This storm is definitely kicking up in intensity. So since yesterday's update, I think the last update we did on this here, or I remember what I saw yesterday. The storm it just became a tropical storm, and it was sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. We are already seeing this thing, rapidly strengthen. So since last night, this thing has already gained 25 mile-an-hour winds. That's a lot. That's a lot in terms of strengthening. This thing has really picked up over the last little bit overall. Jason, dude, thank you, man, for the $10 super chat. You rock, dude. Big shout out goes to my man, Jason. Thank you, dude. You did not have to do that. Alright, so Tabletop, back to you, man. You got a marginal tomorrow. That's it. Nothing too big. No tornadoes. You should be good. Nothing big for you tomorrow. Just a little marginal. Anyway, so yeah, this thing has been undergoing some rapid strengthening and, rapid development overall. I mean, you can see here on the infrared view, I mean, we have a pretty good spin on that storm now. I mean, you can see the convection, a lot of that storm's blowing up in that central area there. This guy has been really kicking off there. Now, we are expecting this storm to become a hurricane tonight. This thing is expected to be a hurricane by 8 p.m. tonight, with sustained winds of 80 miles per hour with gusts up to 100. So this thing is expected to become a hurricane here for tonight. Now, as we continue advancing our way to the west, we do have ourselves here, like I said, a rapid development. So by tomorrow morning, the Hurricane Center has this thing, sustained winds of 100 miles an hour with gusts up to 120. Incredible. Then as we approach our way over here towards tomorrow evening, we're talking sustained winds of 110 with gusts up to 130. And as we approach the Lesser Antilles towards the Leeward Islands here, we are seeing ourselves sustained winds of 115 with gusts up to 140. So we are expecting some really nasty conditions down there in the Lesser Antilles out there towards the Leeward Islands. So please, if you haven't already, please start preparing for this here towards the Barbados. Is that how you say it, Barbados? We got ourselves, like St. Vincent, Port Elizabeth. Let's see here, areas out there near, is it Grenada? I'm not too sure on, like I said, I'm not good with pronunciation with these names here, but, those southern islands out there towards the Lesser Antilles. Now, we do have hurricane watches and tropical storm watches in place. Let me see if I can go ahead and turn those on here. I don't know if they don't work outside of the U.S. here. I don't think they do. So, okay, let's go ahead and hop over here to the Hurricane Center then. We'll go ahead and show y'all where those watches and where all of that stuff is currently at. So, let's go ahead and hop y'all over here to the full screen. Pilot, dude, thanks, man, for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much. Kim says, hi, Andrew, watching from Canada. Thank you for your updates. You're very welcome. No problem. Let's see here. Wonder if Burrow will make landfall in the U.S. There's no current threat to United States at this time. So, like I said, when it comes to it, the United States is not currently under any concern with this cyclone. But we'll continue watching it over the next little bit. And if it becomes a concern, and obviously I'll talk about it, we'll mention. But right now, there's no concern for the U.S. With the system as of now. Let's see here. Keep that hurricane in Florida. I don't want it I don't think you're gonna get a hurricane in Indianapolis. Yeah, I don't think nature's that crazy. I mean, nature's crazy, but not that crazy. What website is this? This is the Hurricanes website, nhc.noaa.gov. So anyway, yeah, hopping on over here to the hurricane model, you see M, that stands for major hurricane. So a major hurricane is classified as a Category 3 or higher. And you can see that pink areas there. So for portions of the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands here, we do got ourselves, the pink areas is showing a tropical storm, hurricane watches out there in the pink. Now, tropical storm watches are in place across the yellow out there. So we do have ourselves, let's see here. I'm not entirely, is it Tobago, I think the name is, of that island, just northeast of Trinidad. We got ourselves this little guy over here. This is a tropical storm watch that's in effect out there. We got ourselves, like I said, hurricane watches through the Leeward Islands there for basically the central and southern Lesser Antilles. So we're going to have to definitely watch out there for that. So we will definitely be, keeping a close eye on this system here. Now, as we approach landfall, which is expected for Monday, which I believe is the 1st. So as we approach landfall here, we are going to be seeing, this system very, very strong. Once again, major hurricane strength. Category 3 is the expectancy of this thing as it rolls through the Lesser Antilles. It will continue to be a major hurricane as it continues advancing its way here to the west. So as we approach our way out there towards like 8 a.m. on Tuesday, system still expected to be a major hurricane, still Category 3. At this point in time, it'll just be south of Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico is not going to have any direct impacts with this system, but there will likely be some problems with, rip currents and maybe, a little bit of minor coastal flooding. Could be a possibility out there towards Puerto Rico. We'll have to, just kind of see how that plays out. But I definitely do expect that rip current concern, really, for a lot of the Caribbean. Now, with this latest update, I do want Jamaica to start preparing for this system. As of the last couple of updates here, I've been telling Jamaica to watch it, but no need to, really panic or anything like that. And there's still no reason to panic. But I do want Jamaica to start preparing for this storm as well. Because, in the later portion of the cone, basically, 3+ days out here, we are seeing ourselves a hurricane that's expected to become or head right there through Jamaica. The good news is that this guy is expected to weaken a bit by the time that we do get to Jamaica, which around that time it'll be sustained winds of around 105 miles per hour with gusts up to 125. So as we approach our way here for the 3rd, for July 3rd, this is kind of where it'll be. So the path does include Jamaica inside of it, so Jamaica needs to watch out there for it. Also, I'd have like southern Haiti, as well as southern Cuba. Just keeping a close eye on this storm here, as you know, well, I'm definitely expecting some coastal impacts out there. According to the Hurricane Center, this system will probably weaken a little bit, back down to Category 1 strength by the 4th, so we'll have to see how that holds up here. But anyways, but yeah, so the big thing is right now is just to prepare for the people out there in the Lesser Antilles. And, you know, like I said, y'all, if you know anybody out there, if you're out there, obviously prepare for this now. You know, there's really, you know, no better time to prepare for this in terms of right now. Make sure you have, you know, food and water, you know, survival kit, all that stuff ready to go. You know, if you're the type that board up your windows and stuff like that, I would highly recommend it out there towards, you know, these southern islands here. You know, like I said, you guys can see the islands here towards like St. Vincent, you know, the Barbados. I'm not too sure if I'm even saying that right still. But like I said, you know, when it comes to it, it's expected to be a Cat 3, you know, a pretty strong hurricane with gusts up to 140. So it's going to be a pretty big storm overall. Let's see here. Do I think this will hit the South Texas coast? So, Jasmine, like I said, right now this is not a concern for anywhere in the United States currently. So at the moment we're good. The United States currently does not have any concern, you know, from throughout the Gulf Coast. We are looking pretty good. Same thing for the U.S. East Coast. As of now, there's no threat for any of the United States. You know, like I said, we'll continue watching the progression as it starts to get a little closer towards the Gulf of Mexico. We still don't even know if it's going to track into the Gulf of Mexico. It seems possible, so we'll have to see here. Oh my gosh, Proxy coming in here with a $75 super chat. Thank you so much, Proxy. That is very, very sweet of you. Saying, Andrew, thanks for coverage. Thanks for covering all topics. You rock. Hi to you, mods, and Over 6 family. Thank you so much, Proxy. Wow, $75 super chat. That is crazy. Thank you so much, Prox. If there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. That is very, very sweet of you. That is very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Stuart, yeah, so Jamaica, you definitely need to start watching this storm here, because like I said, we do have the cone going over near Jamaica, and Jamaica's in the middle of the cone, meaning that, you know, you're kind of in a likely territory of hurricane impacts down into. My goodness, there's a warning going off. Hold on a minute, y'all. Scared me half to death. Just a special marine warning. I live in Florida. We get these all the time. Anyways, but yeah, so where was I at? So Jamaica. Talking about Jamaica. Yes, definitely need to start preparing for those regions there overall. So we'll have to definitely be preparing out there. You know, like I said, we have multiple days by the time this system does get to Jamaica overall. We are talking, like I said, at the time being, as it approaches Jamaica, it'll be right here for July 3rd. Right around the morning of July 3rd is what we are expecting the hurricane to be on your doorstep there towards Jamaica. Once again, sustained winds here around 105 with gusts up to 125 out there. So we'll definitely continue to watch this here. Now, obviously, like I said, the more the immediate concerns is out there towards, you know, the Lesser Antilles right now, the Leeward Islands, is a big problem. Big problem currently, you know, as we are continuing to see rapid strengthening with this storm here. You know, like I was saying here, since last night, overall, you know, since last night we had ourselves sustained winds out of this storm at 40 miles an hour. Okay, so last night the update was 40 mile an hour sustained winds, tropical storm force, just became a tropical storm. Right now, like I said, we're 65 sustained, which that is really, that is really a, you know, a pretty quick increase in strength. So right now we're already seeing gusts getting up to hurricane strength out there. So 75 gusting to right now, with winds, you know, sustained currently at right around 65 overall. So like I said, this thing's definitely picking up strength. Once again, this thing will be a hurricane by tonight. We are expecting it to be sustained winds here by 8 p.m. Eastern time of 80 miles an hour and gusts up to 100. We'll do another update on this later today. I'm not doing live coverage today, guys. We're going to do another hurricane update tonight. I think that's more urgent. So we'll do a hurricane update tonight sometime, probably around 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern time. So that'll be right around 8 or 9 o'clock Central time. Do another one of these live streams for you guys. So yeah, but once again, like I said, we are seeing a major hurricane upon landfall out there in the southern, the southern Leeward, the southern Lesser Antilles out there in the Leeward Islands. There, once again, sustained winds upon landfall. This will be taking place July 1st. The morning to afternoon of July 1st, we're expecting landfall here with sustained winds of 115 miles an hour and gusts up to 140. So that is what we are looking out there for. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and hop over to some of these other graphics here. We do got ourselves a little bit of an update on the rainfall with y'all. There's going to be a little bit of rain here. It's, it's still a little unknown farther down the line, but, we're not expecting a whole lot of rain. The most we could probably see according to the latest rainfall forecast here. We are talking the potential out there of 4 to 6 inches there towards some of those southern islands there overall. It's relatively, I wouldn't say it's fast moving, but it's moving. It's relatively quickly moving, so it shouldn't allow for a lot of heavy rain. I mean, obviously, yeah, we're going to get a lot of rain out of the system. That's just typical with tropical cyclones, but for a tropical cyclone, this is still kind of on the lower side. Just off the coast there, we could see up anywhere from 6 to 8, a little bit more out there. But yeah, as of now, we're expecting around 4 to 6 inches of rainfall, which could lead to some flooding in some spots. So definitely prepare for that there overall. In terms of ETA regarding tropical storm force winds here, we'll start to see those winds start to roll in here for right around pretty much like between late Sunday and early Monday is when we're going to start to see those tropical storm force winds start to impact the Lesser Antilles there. It'll work its way towards Jamaica anywhere from late Tuesday to early Wednesday. That's when we're going to start to see those tropical storm force winds out there. So that's like the ETA of those tropical storm force winds overall. Wind speed probabilities, so this is your probability of tropical storm force. Obviously down there we're at an 80 to 90% chance out there in the Leeward Islands. Yeah, it's kind of expected. Jamaica's starting to get up there too. As of right now, we're talking 50 to 60% chance. Kind of expected. Also there towards, southern Haiti, as well as portions of, the southern coast of the Dominican Republic. We're actually starting to get in the territory of where tropical storm force winds is, up to a toss of a quarter. It's right around 50%. So that is kind of something we're watching. So yeah, we'll also continue to watch this once again further down the line. It's still a little unknown of what it's going to do once it gets to this point of the waters here in the Western Caribbean. But we are expecting this thing, yes, to track its way into the Southern Caribbean and head out there towards Jamaica. This will make landfall in the southern Leeward Islands there. So, like I said, the Leeward Islands, the Lesser Antilles, southern Lesser Antilles there, and it will make landfall out there towards Jamaica as well. Or it'll become close to making landfall towards Jamaica. We're not entirely sure if the center will go over Jamaica, but it'll be close. That we do know is a good possibility. Let's see. Will Columbus, Ohio see storms today? I'm going to Chicago. So today we do got ourselves a slight risk, yes. There's a 2% chance for tornadoes, 15% chance for wind, and no chance for hail. Yeah, so little tornado threat. Little tornado threat today, and obviously, a little bit of winds, but nothing super crazy. All right, y'all. Let's go and hop to models. We got a lot to talk about here. We're gonna look at the latest hurricane models, and we're gonna see what's going on here. First of all, actually, what I want to do before I dive into individual models, let's take a look here at the spaghetti plots first. See what their latest model or latest thing is here. So this is the latest spaghetti models here. You can see we're grouped very well into the southern islands here, which at this point, yeah, that's pretty much expected here. You can see that they're starting to become a little bit more uncertainty with that storm as it tracks into the central and southern Caribbean. There's a big wide margin here. Most of them agree on this northern path, but there's a couple of whatever. There's a couple of models here that's just, sticking out further away from the main area of concentration. So you can see, yeah, there is, a few little model runs that does have this thing going further to the south, but majority of them have it going just south of Cuba, which unfortunately would lead that right over Jamaica. It does seem to be a possibility. So once again, Jamaica people, I need you all to be prepared for this one as well. I need you to start preparing for it. And like I said, what happens once it gets here, we don't know. Like I said, for anybody who's worried about the United States, like I said, no reason to worry right now. This is still very far down the line. Not to mention, models are not even knowing what's going to happen once it gets to this point in time, because everything starts to scatter out. Models are very unsure of what's going to happen. What's going to happen once we get to these waters. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be impossible for any future, very, very long-ranged impacts on the U.S. I'm not saying that there will be none. I'm saying that we don't know yet, but as of now, since we don't know, and since it's so far out, we're talking multiple days out, 5+ days out, we don't know. Like I said, it's just a little too early, but like I said, with these updates we give y'all every day on the tropics, once again, 2 times a day, I'm starting to do updates twice a day on the tropics here for y'all. As we get a little closer to these waters, and we should be able to know a little bit better of what we can expect here with that system. So we'll keep it on it. There might be a chance it could just ram its way into Mexico. There's a chance it could go over the Yucatan into the Gulf, or there's a chance it might be able to squeeze through. We'll have to see. Like I said, at that point, we don't really know too much. Here's some ensembles from the American GFS model, showing the same thing pretty much, obviously just showing the group of these members here. Most of them have it just tracking its way into the Caribbean. At that point, at this point in time, it's very, very likely that the system's just going to go through the Caribbean here overall. A couple outcasts here showing it go through Cuba, one out there towards Florida, which that's highly unlikely. Just consider that's one member out of like a bunch of them. So the most likely track is that this thing is going to just continue going west, northwest here, heading there towards Jamaica. And then, like I said, at this point, we don't know. So we shall see. So that's what the model's there. Here's some more ensembles. Obviously some more ensembles has this thing, continuing the same path, maybe hitting the Yucatan further down in time. Southern Gulf, who knows? There's even a few models that has this thing continuing as a tropical cyclone, potentially into the Eastern Pacific. So, like I said, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, man. Models are all over the place at that point in time there overall. But let's go ahead and hop on over here to the models. Let's go ahead and get all this looked at here. So we're going to take a look at the GFS first here regarding tropical activity. Let's see here. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and line that up there for you. Time will be in the top right whenever I get this up for y'all. So you guys can see it. Actually, let's zoom in here to Burl here. Here we go. All right, so here's the latest run. It's actually still rendering, so it's fresh off the press here. So as we work our way down in time, once again, you can follow along in time up there in the top right. So we continue to work our way here to the west, and this thing, it goes under rapid strengthening. The GFS model here shows this thing definitely in that realm of major hurricane status. Pressure in the mid 960 millibar range as it approaches. Take a look at the infrared satellite view. Yeah, you can tell there's a well-defined eye at this point, according to the GFS model here. You can see it looks like, according to GFS, that eye starts to develop maybe the morning of the 30th, like tomorrow morning maybe. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I think tomorrow morning is a reasonable time that we could probably start to see an eye starting to pop up there. Obviously we'll just have to continue watching it, but yeah, a well-defined eye will be presented probably by the time it reaches the southern Leeward Islands, or the southern Lesser Antilles out there in the Leeward Islands overall. So we'll definitely watch out for that. It'll continue rolling west. GFS model has this thing getting a little close to Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Could cause some issues, and it goes right over Jamaica, according to GFS, and then just kind of dies out. Remember, this is one model. This should be taken, seriously, but not lightly, but not, not too heavily, because you obviously you want to take it seriously, but you don't want to take it too seriously, if that makes sense. It's a balancing thing. So it's just one model, it's just one run here. So that's what it's looking like. Once again, a pretty nasty looking storm. Lower level winds here, you can really see that wind field really cranking up there. This will really impact those southern islands out there. Bring in hurricane force winds and all that stuff out there. It's going to be pretty impactful overall. And like I said, yeah, the GFS model has this thing, just going right over the area here by Jamaica for right around the afternoon of the 3rd. So Jamaica, you're going to have your impacts on the 3rd of July, while the southern Lesser Antilles will have the impacts here for right around the models are showing the late morning into the early afternoon here overall. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. with this system. And of course, the GFS has this thing also hitting the Yucatan further down in time. We'll have to just see. Once again, at this point in time, we're in La La Land over here. But yeah, for at least the time of the next couple of days, yeah, we are pretty solid on this thing, impacting the Lesser Antilles, the Leeward Islands, and of course, making a very close approach, if not a direct approach, to Jamaica overall as well. Anyways, so that's that. Let's try another model. So, all right, we're going to get into HWRF now. Let me go ahead and warn you that this model typically takes things a little heavier. I've always noticed. The new model is rendering, so we're going to use the 06 Zulu run. This is the previous run. So we work our way down in time here. Once again, rapid strengthening of the system occurs, and we approach the Lesser Antilles here with a pressure right around the 960s. Now, actually, I feel like this is pretty reasonable, honestly, because like the GFS model and all of that was pretty much saying the same thing. So at least between the models here for now, it seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, we're expecting that landfall, right up there in the early afternoon of July 1st. You can see on the top right there. This will be right here for the afternoon of July 1st. And take a look at the infrared satellites. Yeah, once again, well-defined eye. This model shows that eye kind of developing maybe tomorrow evening. We'll see. It looks like we could develop an eye tomorrow in the storm. We'll see if it's earlier or later. If it's earlier, it might show more signs of more strengthening. We'll have to see. But overall, once again, landfall point there right in the afternoon, and it'll continue rolling to the west here. Wow, look at that. Holy cow. Whoa, that's crazy. So this model here has it getting down in the 940 millibar range. Okay, yeah, this one's a lot different than what the GFS is showing. So this storm or this one here shows this guy, having a pretty daggone close approach to the southern Dominican Republic and southern Haiti here. This will be right around the morning of the 3rd, late the 2nd. And then, of course, approaching right there just between Cuba and Jamaica as still potentially a major hurricane, according to the HWRF model. At this point, it'd likely be weakening a little bit because it's kind of rubbing against land here, with especially Cuba's mountain ranges and stuff like that. Hurricanes don't like mountain ranges very much. But yeah, wow, that is just incredible. Continues rolling to the west here, and still remaining a very powerful storm as it just kind of squeezes between Jamaica and Cuba. Now, obviously, the GFS had this thing rapidly weakened by the time it got to this point. The GFS was showing maybe a Cat 1, maybe tropical storm at this point in time. This model, look at the lower level dynamics here, but this model's still showing maximum wind gusts, maximum wind sustained of around 115 knots. That would still make this thing a Category 3. Now, according to this model, we peak around, 124 knots? That would make it a Cat 4. That would make it a Cat 4. I believe 130 plus is Cat 4 territory. So, according to this model, this thing gets up to Cat 4 strength. And, kind of still remains kind of a Category 3 as it rolls through, northern Jamaica, as well as like the southern Cuban areas here. Pretty freaking wild, according to HWRF. But like I always said, that model typically tries to overperform things. But honestly, like I said though, I mean it's looking pretty good. Compared to the GFS, the main the main models here we use, they're in sync to it, at least at some degree. Regarding strength, upon landfall out there towards the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands, we have some form of agreement between those models. Here's another model. This one's, let's see, we're going to have to do the same thing we did on the last one here. We're going to have to load up that 06 Zulu run here. This model shows rapid intensification. Wow, this one's in the 950s as well. So far, all the models we've looked at shows a major hurricane here, making landfall for, once again, right around 2 p.m. on July 1st. So we've pinpointed the time here, it seems. It looks like right there in the morning to afternoon here of, the first here is kind of when we can expect, like I said, those impacts to occur out there. So, definitely a very, very strong storm as it rolls through. This model, wow. This model, holy cow. That is incredible. That is unbelievable. So, according to the HMON model, this one has it getting down to 940 millibar range as well. Also, Category 4 strength, according to this model here. And this one, according to the HMON, slams right into Jamaica. Slams right into Jamaica there. You can see right there, 950 millibar range there. So it'll be 122 knots just before landfall, according to this model here. Remember, this is one model. Take this seriously, but not too seriously. take this model with a grain of salt, I should say, because each model is a little bit different. But this one shows, yeah, this hurricane here, central pressure there, 952 millibars, maximum winds of 122 knots. Very, very strong out there, and then slamming its way into the eastern side, southeastern side here of Jamaica, continuing to roll through until it kind of pulls away on the 4th there. Then that's where the model ends. So from what we've learned, guys, from all the models we've looked at, like I said, we've looked at the HWRF, we've looked at the HMON, we've looked at the GFS. All the models are showing this thing in the range of, Category 3+. It's looking pretty serious, y'all. And like I said, I really need you guys, both in Jamaica as well as, like I said, the southern Lesser Antilles and Leeward Islands, to prepare for this immediately, because this thing's starting to become a very, very dangerous storm. Like I said, we're expecting that major hurricane to make landfall here in, like I said, the southern Lesser Antilles here for the first out there. That's when we're expecting that overall. All right, so that's that. We'll look at a few more models here. We got the HAFS-A. We're actually going to zoom out a bit. So another thing I want you guys to know is there might even be another storm behind it. I didn't really talk about that much this stream yet, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's another storm that's potentially following behind it. And it could cause similar problems. So we work our way down in time. HAFS-A shows the storm here rolling through. This one's a little bit lighter regarding impacts here. Kind of shows it down in the 980 range. I think this one's the outcast, because this one's showing a lot more of a weaker storm versus the other models we were looking at there for. But it does have it strengthening to some degree there. But you can actually see, according to this model, that second system, or 96L, this guy will possibly cause some more impacts. So I hate to tell you all this, but for my folks out there in the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands, not only are you going to have this guy to deal with, but you might have another storm very similar to it following right behind it. So that's something that's a little bit concerning there, that we'll have to just continue watching. Yeah, this thing also has the storm here strengthening pretty strong as well. Two pretty strong storms are certainly possible overall. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll definitely, watch that second storm right now. Hurricane Center, we'll then hop on back here real quickly to show you. This is, whoa, they really upgraded that probability here since last time I've saw it. They give it a high risk of formation too. Look at that. So over the next 48 hours or the next 2 days, the system's not generally expected to develop into anything. So within the next 2 days time period, it's not expected to be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. However, over the next 7 days, that's a little bit different. We are expecting the system within the next 7 days to develop into at least a tropical depression, which, at this point in time, it seems very, very likely that this thing will possibly even become a storm down in time, too. So we'll have to watch out for disturbance, too. We got disturbance 1. They've actually upped the probability on this guy developing into a tropical depression. They're saying it could form in the southern Gulf here. Unlikely that this storm will cause any big problems other than just some heavy rain out there. But whenever it comes to it overall, like I said, 50-50 shot there. It's up to a coin flip at this point. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on Disturbance 1. Once again, Disturbance 1 is kind of my least of my concerns right now. We have Burl. That's obviously my main concern. And of course, we have following 96L, which is Disturbance 2 here. This one is more of my, also another one of my concerns. So from greatest concern, it starts with Burl, goes to Disturbance 2, then it goes over here to Disturbance 1 overall. So, like I said, we got a lot of activity. The tropics are heating up, man. Things are really starting to power through. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and hop on back over here. We're going to hop back to my main program. So let's take a look at the satellite imagery. This is current state of Burl. Currently looking very nice. Looking very, very nice. Latest scans here, it looks a little more stretched. I think it's undergoing a little bit of strengthening here. So like I said, we've had a very, very well-defined, let's go ahead and actually go back a few frames here. We've had a very, very well-defined tropical system, under development here for the last while. And the crazy thing is that, yesterday's update, like I was saying here yesterday, with the update we had, this storm had just become a tropical storm last night, and we were seeing sustained winds of 40 miles an hour. So once again, consistent winds of 40-mile-per-hour winds with obviously higher gusts. That was last night. So right now, As of the last update, this thing is sustained at 65 miles an hour. We've already gone up 25-mile-an-hour winds since last night. Since last night, this thing has strengthened 25 miles an hour. So now we're talking wind gusts up to Category 1 strength, lower Cat 1 strength here. We're seeing maximum wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour with sustained winds, like I was saying, at 65. Now, like we mentioned, as we continue to work our way down in time here, this system is expected to become a hurricane tonight. We are expecting this thing to achieve hurricane status right around the evening of tonight. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, this thing's expected to become a hurricane. We're talking sustained winds here of 80 miles an hour with wind gusts getting up to 100. And so overall, like I said, when it comes to it, we are expecting rapid development continuing to occur with this storm here as it continues to roll through conducive waters, very, very warm, rich waters, lack of wind shear, which is good for the storm, basically preventing it from being shredded apart like a blender. So that's good for the storm, and of course, a lot of moisture. There's a lot of convection, a lot of moisture with this storm here overall. But yeah, so once again, by tonight, we're expecting Cat 1 strength. But then we work our way into tomorrow morning, and around that time, by the time you wake up, there's a real possibility this thing could even be a Cat 2. We're talking sustained winds here of 100 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 120. Once again, we're talking, this is in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning here for tomorrow. There's already a chance that this thing could become, like I said, a Category 2. So then we continue into tomorrow evening, likely still right around Cat 2 strength. We're getting closer to Cat 3. At this point in time for tomorrow evening around 8 o'clock Eastern time, this will be right around 7 Central, we're talking sustained winds here tomorrow evening being right around 110 miles an hour sustained. That is some pretty strong winds. And we're actually going to be gusting up to Category 4 strength, possibly by tomorrow evening. So like I said, for Cat 4, we're talking, I'm pretty sure, Category 4, we're talking, pretty sure that realm is 130 plus for Category 4 strength. We're going to be right at 130 there for maximum gust tomorrow, potentially there overall. So then we start to get a little close here towards the lesser Antilles out there in the Leeward Islands. We're going to start to see, once again, continuous strengthening with the system here overall. This thing will roll its way to the west, and as we approach the morning of July 1st, that is when we are expecting landfall to occur out here. So we're talking right around 8 o'clock in the morning here, roughly, anywhere from, I'd just say late morning to early afternoon is the time of landfall we are expecting down here in these regions here. So at this point, by the morning of the 1st, July 1st here, we're talking sustained winds of 115 miles an hour. So constant winds towards the eye wall, around 115 miles an hour overall, and getting up to, like I said, 140 regarding wind gusts. So once again, y'all need to prepare for this down there in the Lesser Antilles. Once again, those southern Leeward Islands down there definitely need to be preparing for this storm here. As, like I said, this thing is going to be very, very impactful. Once again, Category 3 strength is expected as of now. So we are talking major hurricane status upon landfall here towards those southern islands. So, like I said, y'all definitely prepare for this starting now. If you could, go ahead and start preparing for it. Make sure you have a lot of food and water and just things to last you a while. Just to kind of ride out that storm overall. So then we work our way down here further in time as we approach the evening of the 1st. We're not going to lose much strength, actually. As a matter of fact, we're going to kind of sustain ourselves here, according to the latest Hurricane Center outlook here overall. So tomorrow evening, it's not going to lose any strength by going over these islands. Matter of fact, if it might even be able to pick up some strength. Right now the Hurricane Center has this thing just kind of holding itself around. But yeah, so still holding at 115 sustained. So then we continue into the southern Caribbean. Same thing holds itself throughout the morning of the 2nd as well. And then we start getting a little closer towards some more of these Caribbean areas. So then we start to get a little close towards like southern Haiti, towards the coast of southern Haiti, a little bit of Dominican Republic out there, as well as Jamaica. This will be for the morning of the 3rd. Now, around this time, we are expecting a slight weakening trend to occur. Sustained winds of around 105 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 125. So overall, like I was saying here, when it comes to it, we are expecting a slight weakening trend to occur here with sustained winds of 105 with gusts up to 125. So like I was mentioning, Jamaica definitely need to prepare for this as well. At this point in time, I want you guys to be prepared as well. Go ahead and start getting things together. Like I said, if you have any or make sure you go and get yourself some water, some food and stuff like that to last you as the storm gets closer. Because like I said, at this point in time, I really do believe that this will be causing some big concerns for Jamaica. Regardless of direct impact. So we're not entirely sure if this thing's going to have a direct landfall on Jamaica. It's a possibility. I mean, you guys are kind of in the middle of the cone here. There's also a possibility that the storm could creep its way up into these waters. It could go down, but there is also a possibility it could just go right through Jamaica. We don't quite know yet, but it's going to be coming close. Now, regardless of wherever it goes, say if it goes far south or it goes far north, we're still going to have some really bad coastal impacts regardless. There is going to be rip current concerns, so make sure you're not out at the beach during this time because, the water can sweep you away because of those rip currents there. So rip currents will be an issue. Same thing likely for even Haiti and Dominican Republic there, also Cuba. Southern Cuba's coast will likely have some rip current concerns out there as well, because what essentially happens is these winds in this hurricane are so strong that they move the water like crazy, and they cause those big old waves to develop out there, and it just really causes like the entire Gulf to start getting really wavy. The Caribbean, not the Gulf. It really allows for the Caribbean to really start getting wavy. So those big waves will be playing a big role in regarding to possibly minor coastal flooding, or if not major coastal flooding in some of these areas here. So we'll have to continue watching that too. But yeah, so at that point in time, like I said, we're going to get here right around the morning of the 3rd. And as we approach our way towards the morning of the 4th, this thing is likely to downgrade to a Category 1, still a hurricane potentially, as it approaches near the Cayman Islands. We're not entirely too sure, like I said, anything after this, so for the people who's wondering what's going to happen for the United States or whatever, like I said, we don't even know if the U.S. is going to be impacted at all by this storm. As of right now, it doesn't seem like the United States is under any concern at the moment. Like I said, the models, they only go out so far. I mean, you can see just how far away the storm is. It is very, very far away. So whatever happens here, the models are having a very hard time understanding because, well, it's very far down the time frame. So it's a little hard to tell. So for right now, like I said, no reason to worry in the United States if that's one of your main questions. Like I said, that's a commonly asked question here, is if the U.S. is going to be impacted. As of now, no. As of right now, we do not see any impacts towards the United States. Right now, this is just a big concern, a very, very, very big concern for the Lesser Antilles. Also a really good concern for Jamaica and some of those coastal areas in southern Cuba, southern Haiti, southern Dominican Republic there. That's kind of where it becomes a bit of a problem overall. What's going to cause it to weaken before it gets to Jamaica? So, so there, not all models actually agree on that. There is a few of them. The Hurricane Center has this thing weakening a bit. It depends on its track. So if it pulls more of a northerly track, some of those rain bands are going to be rubbing up against some of Cuba, some of Haiti, Dominican Republic, which, there's a lot of mountain ranges in these areas. And hurricanes, they're surface-based phenomena. They're surface-based storms. It means they're organized very well in their surface. Now, whenever you have a big mountain that's obscuring that flow, that allows for the storm to rapidly weaken. Obviously, whenever a hurricane goes over land, it weakens because of the lack of water. It's going to be losing some of its inflow. That water, it's not going to be fully over water for one, but also the mountains are going to start to ruin that lower level flow, which will allow for the storm to kind of destabilize itself, which might cause it to weaken a bit. So that's if it takes a northern track. If I hop over to models again, something I really didn't look with you guys, which we'll look at now, is other conditions. Now, we already do know that the waters are definitely warm enough for tropical activity. It doesn't just rely on the waters, but the waters are definitely warm enough out there. Another big thing is moisture. As we approach our way further down in time, it seems like we might still have enough moisture according to some models. We're going to have to continue to watch if there's going to be any form of dry air infiltration. So basically what I'm saying is that, tropical systems, they need a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. It's not just warm waters. It's also moisture and lack of wind shear. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, warm waters and moisture. And when it comes to moisture, indicated in the bluish green color here, showing high humidities throughout our atmosphere, which is moisture. As we approach way further down in time, it seems like we still have a decent amount of blues and greens there, which is showing, still decent amount of moisture. What you don't want is that brown starting to get into that storm. The brown is representing dry air, low humidity levels, which would basically choke out that storm because it needs that continuous supply of a lot of moisture in order to convect, continue occurring overall. So, that is what we are seeing there with that. So it does seem like, at least to some models, let me try some other models here, like HWRF. Yeah, okay, so it does seem like, actually, let me hop to the previous run here. It does seem like down further in time, yeah, it doesn't look like moisture is going to be too much of an issue. You can see there's a lot of bluish green, so there's a lot of moisture still available, so we can check that off. We know the waters are warm enough. We know that there's a lot of moisture available in the atmosphere here too, so that in itself is looking pretty good. Now, the last thing I want to look at, though, is our wind shear. That's actually something I want to look at. So wind shear, basically it's just winds at different levels of the atmosphere. And if we take a look at our upper level winds here, or just our winds in general, you can see there's a big jet stream going over the United States right now. So what we don't want is a jet stream or a big current of air to be rolling right at a tropical cyclone. So say if one of those guys was pointing right at that system, that would allow it to just, collapse, basically. Because what ends up happening is these hurricanes, they're very, very, very vertical stacked. They are perfectly upright. When you get strong winds, it starts to bend their structure sideways, which causes them to wobble and destabilize and also weaken. So we don't want those winds if we want that hurricane to sustain and strengthen. We do want those winds, though, in this case, to weaken the storm. That would be a good thing. But in this case, as we work our way down in time, it might battle a little bit of it might battle a little bit of it might battle a little bit of wind shear as we approach our way towards, Jamaica, maybe. Even then, that'll most likely be north of that cyclone. It's not going to be anything super, super crazy. So, we'll have to see, obviously conditions as we continue going down further in time overall. Let's see the most intense model tracking towards Cuba. It seems like that's a bit of a trend in some of the models here. Let's see, still a tropical storm out there. Yep, currently sustained at 65 miles an hour with gusts, let's see, up to 75. So, once again, y'all, we are expecting the system to become a hurricane by tonight. By tonight overall. So, we'll definitely do another update here for you guys overall. Tonight, like I was saying, we're going to do another update for y'all, probably right around like 9, 10 Eastern, so 8, 9 o'clock Central. So we'll make sure to do another live stream for you guys on the tropics overall. You're welcome, BVS, no problem. So if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. If y'all haven't already, consider doing me a favor. Consider leaving a like and subscribing. That'd be greatly appreciated. That way that YouTube can help spread this information out a little further. It'd be much appreciated. YouTube algorithm kind of sucks, I ain't gonna lie. It's a little hard to make it as a weather channel, so if y'all could help push that, be greatly appreciated. Would deeply, deeply appreciate it. Let's see here. TNT says, hi, so will high pressure in the States, front pull up into the Gulf next week? So we have been watching a dome of high pressure potentially in place as we approach our way down in time. You can see it's positioned over the central United States. Once again, looking at models, I should probably show you guys. There you go. So there it is right there. But yeah, when it comes to it, when it comes to models here, no matter if you're tracking a hurricane or a high pressure system, it's still kind of the same. Once we get far down in the models, it's kind of hard to understand what's going to happen because the models become very blurry, very, very, all over the place, essentially. They become non-reliable the further you go down in time. So the more closer that you are. Oh, just got a new update on the Hurricane Center here. Let's see. I'll update you all on that in a second. Yep. So Burl expected to become a dangerous major hurricane before reaching the Windward Islands is what the Hurricane Center just tweeted. But yeah, like I was saying, that high pressure dome, we're not entirely sure even if, how strong that's going to be, where it's going to be, essentially, how big it's going to be. We're not entirely too sure on that quite yet. If it's in place, if it's strong and it's near the Gulf, that could detour it maybe in the coast. But like I said, once again, to everybody out there, there's no reason to worry about the United States right now. Once again, we do not even know if it's going to come near the U.S. at this point in time. All we do know is that this system is working its way to the west, going to cause some serious conditions out there in the Leeward Islands. Could cause some big problems for Jamaica, as well as some of the southern coasts out there in Cuba, Haiti and Dominican Republic. And then, like I said, once we get here, that's kind of where the models go all over the place. It's like a bowl of spaghetti, just kind of all over the place, or a plate of spaghetti, whatever. When it comes to it, it's impossible to really understand what's going to happen at this point, because there's models do go out this far, but I've seen models do everything. I've seen models literally go everywhere. I've seen models dig this thing straight through Mexico and just die out. I've seen models have this thing go over the Yucatan and the Southern Gulf and then hit the Mexico again. And I've seen models hit the Gulf. We don't know. That's a big question mark at this time being. What are the chances of Burrows hitting Louisiana? So there is no, I can't give you a probability quite yet because, once again, models are all over the place. But as of now, it's, pretty low. Very, very low at the current moment. The chances are very, very low of it hitting really anywhere in the U.S. right now. We don't know quite yet. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. We're going to go ahead and hop over here to the Hurricane Center again. I do want to do a little update, see if they updated that. Here we go. Yep, 2 o'clock p.m. update. Okay, so let's see here. Last update here, sustained winds of 65, still at 65. Minimum central low pressure is currently at 998 millibars. Storm's actually moving pretty decently fast. It's moving west at 23 miles an hour overall. So this was the latest update here from the Hurricane Center, the cone that they have here. It didn't really change much. Things are still looking pretty much the same. Let's see. Thank you. Louisiana farmers need some rain desperately. Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah, it's been a little dry in some areas down there lately, for sure. But you're very welcome. No problem. Glad to help out, my friend. Glad to help out. And once again, like I said, for anybody joining here, if there's any questions y'all might have along the way, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I'm here for you. I want to make sure you guys are weather aware and prepared. Like I said, I'm here for y'all. So, like I said, just feel free to shoot down a comment if you have any. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna go ahead and hop back over here to the models again for you guys. Take a look back at the crazy, the crazy models again. So, anyways, latest. This is actually the new model run from HWRF though. So we work our way down in time. Latest HWRF has this thing making landfall right there once again for right around the afternoon of July 1st. Central low, according to this latest model run here, is right around the upper 950s. That is very, very strong pressure. Very, very strong low pressure out there. According to... Wow. Holy cow. Okay, so according to the HWRF, which is a beast of a model, yeah, look at that. Very, very symmetrical eye. You got some really strong convection happening at this point in time. So this is, once again, for the afternoon of July 1st. This is upon landfall here, in the Leeward Islands out there towards the southern Lesser Antilles overall. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a concern out there. Oh my gosh, dude. That is incredible. Look at that eye on that storm. This is for the evening of the 1st, according to the HWRF here. So we should be starting to pull away by the evening time. It's not going to... I don't think it'll be too long of a storm here. So right at 8 a.m., we're going to start to get some of those outer bands. And right around 8 p.m., we're going to see some of those outer bands leave overall. Proxy! Thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Proxy. Dude... Man, Proxy, thank you from the bottom of my heart, seriously, for your support and everything. I mean, literally came in with a $75 donation when we started the stream, and now 10 memberships, dude. That is incredible. Thank you so much. That is unbelievable, Proxy. Thank you so much. Like I said, if you need anything, Prox, feel free to let me know. So, but yeah, like I said there. Crazy, according to the HWRF here. At this point in time, pressure will be down right around 953 millibars. Still definitely, a pretty strong storm at that point in time, you could say. So yeah, once again, for the people just joining in here, we're expecting impact on the Leeward Islands, the southern Lesser Antilles here for right there around kind of the late morning into the afternoon is whenever landfall is expected. We're going to start feeling the effects earlier. For earlier tomorrow, or sorry, not tomorrow. Sorry, I don't know. My mind's not working right now. So not for tomorrow, but for early the 1st. For early the 1st is whenever we're going to probably start to really feel those conditions out there. You see right around 11 a.m. there, we're probably starting to see like a lot of tropical storm force winds out at that point in time. Overall, let's see here. Can I cover Ohio? Paul, this is a tropical weather update, my friend. This is not a severe weather coverage right now. I'm not doing coverage today. What I am doing, though, is another live stream tonight on the tropics. I think that's more of a big concern. I will tell you, though, to my folks out there in Ohio, we do have a little 5% chance for tornadoes. So, Proxy, this includes you as well. Actually, you're in the 2% chance out there. But Proxy, we have a 5% chance for tornadoes in Pennsylvania. Damaging winds 15% non-sig, so 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts possible in those storms, and really no hail across those regions there. But like I was saying, yeah, this is a tropical update here for you guys. Let's see here. But anyway, so that is kind of what we are, that is kind of what we are seeing here overall. So we're gonna hop to a different model here. We're gonna take a look at let's see, HMON. HMON model, honestly, it agrees with the HWRF. And like I said, even the GFS model, one of the main models here that we look at, they're all on board. They're all on board with this idea. This one doesn't have an infrared view, but you can look at those lower level winds there and just how pretty decent size that wind field is. It's a very, very big, pretty big storm, actually, according to, this model here. But yeah, so once again, same thing. We're expecting that landfall point to be here for right around the morning of the 1st into the afternoon of the of the 1st here. So that is the point of landfall that we are expecting overall, according to this model. And this system has it continuing to roll down in time, getting pretty daggone close to Jamaica out there as it continues to roll up there near the Cayman Islands. So when it comes to it there, and it's going to keep on trucking along more than likely once it reaches the southern Caribbean there. It'll likely just continue to roll through because, like I said, the waters are very warm down there. There's not much wind shear currently. Forecasted conditions don't show much wind shear either, as well as there's still plenty enough amount of moisture available for those storms. So, it definitely does seem like pretty conducive, pretty good conditions for the cyclone even further down the line, once it passes the Leeward Islands there. So that is that. But let's go ahead and hop on back over here to the main cone and stuff like that, so that I can show you all what the latest and greatest information is all about here. So let's go ahead and hop on over here to y'all. We're going to take, wrong screen. We're going to hop on over here. We're going to take a look at this. So when it comes to the system, like I said, here's current satellite view. If you want to look at it right now, there she is. That's the storm right now. She's kicking off. Definitely really strong earlier this morning, and still picking up some strength here. It's not weakening. It's only strengthening quicker. This it looks a little different than it did. It's trying to get a hold of itself here, but she is strengthening. So as of the last update, which is just came out, literally just came out. Sustained winds here, constant winds of 65 miles per hour overall. We're talking maximum wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour here. Central low is down to 998 millibars. So as we work our way over here into this evening, like I said, we are expecting this storm to become a hurricane tonight. Right around the evening, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. This thing's expected to be within hurricane, realms, Category 1. It's expected to be a Category 1 tonight. Sustained winds here of 80 miles per hour with gusts up to 100 miles per hour here overall. So we're definitely going to be gusting pretty heavily out there as well by tonight. Now, as we work our way into tomorrow morning, there's a good chance that this thing could even pick its way up to Category 2 strength by tomorrow morning, right around 8 o'clock Eastern time. We're talking sustained winds here of 100 miles an hour with gusts getting up to 120 miles an hour out there. So that's very, very rapid intensification. So once again, tonight, Category 1, just breaking that boundary. Tomorrow morning, possibly Cat 2. So we'll have to see. Tomorrow evening, it's going to be cutting close to, upper Cat 2 strength, maybe lower Cat 3 strength tomorrow night. Overall, and then of course as we approach for the morning, afternoon of the 1st, which is the day of landfall, or the day of impact, I should say, for the Leeward Islands down there in the Lesser Antilles. That's the time being, and like I said, the Lesser Antilles, we're expecting this here for, we're expecting the impacts to start likely early the 1st, and overall, and like I said, and it'll really start to get bad kind of late morning into the early afternoon overall. Let's see here. Street Logic, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Saying good luck, my friend. Hopefully your channel blows up. Thank you. I deeply appreciate it. I try to keep it honest. I try to keep it official here. Official graphics from the Hurricane Center. You got to get that information out there. But well, thank you, Street Logic. It's very, very sweet of you. I really appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for your support. That'll go a long way for sure. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. But anyway, so yeah, then like I said, as we approach away for the morning, kind of late morning, early afternoon here of the 1st is when we're expecting that that impact to be the heaviest right there. Upon impact here for the Leeward Islands, we're talking sustained winds here right around 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 140. Not expected to lose strength, actually, as it rolls through the Leeward Islands. It's not expected to lose any strength. It's only going to sustain itself, if not, maybe even pick up a little bit. We'll have to see. Matter of fact, the Hurricane Center has it just kind of sustaining itself as it rolls through the Eastern Caribbean. And as it gets a little closer there towards Jamaica and like southern Haiti and like, southern Dominican Republic and those areas out there, it does have this thing maybe gradually weakening a little bit, which will be good news for, those areas. At this point in time here for basically the 2nd into the 3rd and likely carrying on even further, there will be a lot of coastal problems for, possibly even Dominican Republic, Haiti, southern Cuba, of course, definitely Jamaica. You're going to see a lot of rip currents, a lot of maybe some coastal flooding could be a concern, big waves out there. So that's definitely going to be one of the things we definitely need to really look out there for overall for those regions there. But and like I said, I really want Jamaica to start preparing for this storm here as soon as possible. Because like I said, it seems like the latest models and the latest verdict is this thing's gonna be coming right next to Jamaica, if not getting near landfall, if not landfall in Jamaica. We don't know if it's going to be a direct landfall in Jamaica yet, but we know that that center of the storm is going to be passing near Jamaica, which could end up there. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Trains, appreciate it. Crispin says, why haven't tropical storms been staying... Hold on. Why have the tropical storms been staying to the south and not entering the Gulf? Just the jet stream or just something else? Probably to do with the jet stream and just, current weather patterns allows... they're constantly changing. Some events just do what they want. It's different at different times. I'm pretty sure... I'm not entirely too sure on this, though, but I'm pretty sure it was the jet stream that had to do with it. Probably some high-pressure blocking in the deep south probably caused that, because it's been pretty dry. Matter of fact, the more I think of it, yeah, I think this was due to high pressure in the southeast, kind of keeping those storms down and allowing them to kind of hit over the western side. Because, like I said, we've been pretty dry over here. We've been having a lot of heat, as you guys know, in the south and really just the east in general. I think that's what had a lot to do with it. Let's see here. Hurricane just exploded unexpectedly. Like I said, it picked up a lot of strength since yesterday. It's still a tropical storm. It's almost a hurricane, though. It's getting close to hurricane strength, but it is still a tropical storm. Last night, like I was saying in our last night update, we were saying, tropical storm status. We were seeing, it just became a tropical storm last night, and we were seeing, sustained winds right around 40 miles an hour. So sustained winds right there on the lower end side overall. So we're seeing right around 40 mile an hour sustained winds. Now, this morning, we've jumped up to 65 mile an hour winds. So we picked up 25 mile an hour winds on that system overnight. Definitely has been strengthening pretty quickly. And like I said, we're already starting to gust near hurricane strength out there. We're talking maximum wind gusts here overall to right around 75. Central low is 998 millibars and rapidly falling, of course. I think there's hurricane hunters already out investigating the storm. Let me look and see what the hurricane hunters are up to. Let's see. We got a couple missions going on right now. We have this mission. Okay, I think they just landed over here. I'm not entirely... Well, what are they doing? Oh, no, they're... Whoa, what? What are they doing out there? I think this... Oh, it's a training mission. Okay, they're just flying around here. Let's see here. We got a couple other missions going on here, too. We have this guy... Oh, there they are. I think they... I don't know if they're going... So right now we have a Hurricane Hunter aircraft north of Dominican Republic, right there. And they're heading in the direction of the storm. I don't know if they're gonna land their plane and refuel or something, get over here. I mean, Hurricane Hunter aircraft are very, very capable aircraft. They can go thousands of miles. Let me try this other mission here too. Oh, look at that! There's another mission following right next to it. Actually, there's two missions in the same region. Huh. Let's see here. Thank you so much. Very welcome, Christmas. No problem. I need to look at HWRF, the new 12 Zulu run, 936. Really? Hold on, let me pull up HWRF here. All right, let's hop on back over here to the weather models, the hurricane models for y'all. 12 Zulu. Oh, wow, it sure does, doesn't it? Holy cow. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yeah, that is not good. Now, I will tell you this, guys. The HWRF model tends to overdo things sometimes. It tends to be kind of the worst case scenario of the models. This is showing 936 and sustained winds of 130 knots, which that would be pushing upper Cat 4, maybe lower Cat 5 at that time. Like I said, we're not expecting this thing to be a Cat 5. Remember, I want to make that clear with y'all. We're only expecting this thing to get up to Cat 3 strength as of now. But, yeah, this model here, once again, which is typically, like, the worst case scenario models. Just one run, too. So take this lightly. Don't take this too serious. But, yeah, the model is... Wow. That's all I can say is wow. That's a beefy run right there. Let's see here. So, Johnny, when it comes to Texas, like I said, we have no idea on if this thing is even going to come near the United States. Once again, 5 days from now, this storm's going to be in the Western Caribbean. 5 days from now, this thing's going to be out there south of Cuba. So, with that being said, we don't know what's going to happen after that point. It could literally do anything at that point. It could just go west. It could go in the Gulf. It could go up north. We don't know. Like I said, what we do know is we're watching a high pressure zone somewhere in the deep south. It could be a steering mechanism at some point. It's really, really hard to tell. But like I said, in the United States, once again, like I said, none of you guys have to be concerned about this, right? I mean, you can be concerned, but don't start preparing for anywhere in the United States right now. There's no need to prepare. There's no need to go out shopping or anything like that. Like I said, we're not expecting landfall or any form of impacts as of now in the United States. Okay, hopefully that'll calm some nerves. But once again, like I was saying here, this thing's going to be crossing into the Caribbean overall, and we're going to be having ourselves, pretty decent amount of impacts out there, especially near Jamaica with that. As this thing rolls its way towards Jamaica. Once again, major hurricane expected down there in like southern, the Leeward Islands down there in the Lesser Antilles. Once again, approaching right around 115 sustained with gusts up to 140 there. So definitely getting up there pretty good. What's up, Ed? Hope you're doing good, man. Let's see, weak at landfall. What? This storm here, Cat 3 is not weak at landfall. Like I said, it'll be passing. We're not even sure if it's going to directly impact if it's going to directly, the eye is going to go over an island. We don't know that yet. It could squeeze between one of these islands here. But regardless, conditions are going to still be very bad for these areas. Let's see here. Might go past Bermuda. No. Nah. at this point in time, it likely will not go near Bermuda. You know, all the models, you know, the ensembles and hurricane models have this thing just driving its way into the Caribbean overall. But anyways, but like I said, y'all, you know, that is what we are talking about here. We're going to go ahead and hop on back here to the Hurricane Center. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all some graphics here with the latest information for y'all. So like I said, we do got ourselves hurricane watches in effect for some of those southern Caribbean islands there towards, or southern Lesser Antilles there, Leeward Islands. Hurricane watches in effect, so meaning prepare for potential hurricane conditions down the time. Like I said, I want you guys to start preparing for it with those hurricane watches in place, you know. Eventually down in time, hurricane conditions at this point are likely, but not hurricane warnings yet. They will eventually be transitioned, more than likely, to it. But yeah, we're talking, you know, hurricane watches in effect out there. We have tropical storm watches in effect for some of those central islands out there, as well as, I believe, the island northeast of Trinidad. I'm not entirely too sure of the name of that island out there. But this thing will be coming close near, you know, like St. Vincent area and Barbados, however you say those islands out there. You know, some of those islands will definitely be, you know, in the heavy stuff overall. Yeah, there's that new cone that they have, and you can see, you know, as we approach our extended cone here, right there for, you know, days 4 to 5, you know, so 4 to 5 days from now, you can see this thing coming right near Jamaica. So once again, I also want Jamaica to start preparing for the storm as well. Start getting everything ready. But yeah, definitely, it's very, very urgent down there in the Lesser Antilles currently. Let's see here. Paul, like I said, the storm here. I think you might be talking about 90. Was it 94L? Pretty sure. Yeah, 94L. Let's see. We're gonna hop over here. Yeah, 94L. It's not gonna hit Texas per se, but it's going to be hitting Mexico. You know, models, guidance, possibly, you know, maybe tropical storm strength. We'll have to see. It's a 50-50 shot of development right now up to the Hurricane Center. So we'll see what they end up doing there. But yeah, you know, when it comes to that, here's the system right now. We have a lot of that centralized convection in the central low currently over the Yucatan currently right now. As this thing rolls its way into, you know, the southern Gulf, you know, there's a possibility that we could pick up a little bit of strength. You know, it could become a tropical storm, most likely a tropical depression if it does, but we'll see. Could it stay a major as it hits? Let's see. Could it stay a major hurricane as it hits Jamaica? You know, models do show that as a possibility. You know, the Hurricane Center, they expect this thing to maybe weaken a little bit by the time it reaches there, but I think it's possible because, you know, the models were showing a lack of wind shear, which is good for hurricanes. Not much of a wind shear problem. A lot of, you know, decently warm waters. You know, there's a lot of warm waters out there for development and strengthening. You know, as well as, you know, moisture. You know, so there's a good amount of moisture. You know, a good amount of humidity stacking throughout our atmosphere. You know, in our lower to upper atmosphere, the humidity is pretty high, which is filling up with a lot of moisture overall. Barbados. Okay. The Barbados. Like I said, my pronunciation's always been terrible. So, Randy said, I live in Trinidad. Lots of rain today. How's this going to affect me? So, Trinidad, you are not currently, the Trinidad area is not currently under any watches. You're going to deal with a lot of coastal problems, though. Up north, for the northern coast out there, we're going to see a lot of coastal problems. You know, we're going to have some rip currents, some big waves. Wouldn't be surprised. You know, it depends on the track, obviously, and how things continue to play out. But, you know, as of now, you're not under any watches, but I'd stay tuned for maybe possible watch expansions. We'll see. You know, as we narrow a little closer, we'll definitely learn a lot more about it. Tabletop, this thing's not going to make a U.S. East Coast landfall, I don't think. Like I said, as of now, there's no threat for any U.S. mainland. So like I said, overall, yeah, U.S. territory once again. Well, other than Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico could have some coastal problems, but the storm's going to remain to the south with the winds mostly. But yeah, you know, like I was saying though, overall, you know, like whenever it comes to it out there, you know, just south of Puerto Rico there. we are going to have some pretty strong winds south of that. But yeah, we're going to have some coastal impacts out there more than likely towards like the southern part of Puerto Rico overall. But yeah, anywhere in the mainland U.S., we're not expecting any landfall as of now. Let's see here. Just tuning in from St. Lucia. See, where is the eye of the system passing? So we are expecting here, let's hop on back over here. So we are expecting the storm to be passing into the, like I said, the southern portion of the Lesser Antilles. So you're right here. So for the Leeward Islands, we are expecting the heaviest of impacts. You're definitely in an area we definitely do need to be watching out there for. Actually, you're under a hurricane watch. So definitely make sure that you are preparing for the storm here. Make sure you have enough water, food to last you for a while. Because, like I said, this storm's going to be pretty darn impactful for the region that you're in. So definitely prepare for it overall. At the point of landfall, we're expecting that landfall to be right around the morning of the 1st. Probably the morning to the early afternoon of the 1st is when we're expecting the landfall overall. So whenever it comes to it here, we're talking sustained winds here of 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 140 there overall. So we'll have to continue watching that there for the most part, as there's definitely going to be some pretty strong winds out there in general. So overall with that. And then, of course, we continue to work our way. Oh, did my camera cut out again? Oh, it sure did. Here, let's get that back up here. I have a loose cable on my camera. It's a little bit, let's see here. I have a loose cable on my camera. I need to fix it real quickly. All right, we're back up and rolling. Anyways, but yeah, so, late morning, early afternoon of the 1st here is kind of when we are expecting this here. And once again, sustained winds here of 115 around that time with gusts up to 140. So she's going to be pretty strong. It's going to sustain itself mostly throughout the Eastern Caribbean. We're going to be talking mostly sustaining around 115 mile an hour winds with gusting, obviously, to like 140 or so. And then maybe slightly weakening as it gets a little bit more closer out there towards, the southern areas here, like southern Haiti, getting closer to Jamaica. Like I was mentioning, I do want Jamaica to definitely be prepared for the storm here, because Jamaica is in an area where, potential landfall even. We're not entirely sure, like I was saying, if the center of the storm is going to go south, or if it's going to go north, or if it's going to directly hit, Jamaica. But regardless, what we can tell you is that there's likely going to be some pretty heavy impacts out there towards Jamaica that you definitely need to watch out for. So if you're visiting Jamaica, if you are, like I said, if you live in Jamaica, obviously, if you're out in that area, please start preparing for this. It's still a ways away down. We're expecting that potential impacts to be here for the 3rd, which I believe is Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday. Could feel them as early as late Tuesday, I'd say. It's kind of when you expect those. So yeah, just start preparing for it. It's definitely good overall. Let's see here. Got my supplies in St. Lucia. I'm glad to see that you are preparing for it, my friend, for sure. Anyways. Oh, shoot. There goes my camera again. All right, y'all. I'm going to leave that there for now, because it's just going to keep on acting up. It tends to do that. It seems like towards the end, or the later portions of my streams, it seems like my camera goes out. I don't even know if it's my camera. It might be my camera. I just might need to replace it in whole. So that'll be our next goal, is to save up for another camera so it doesn't keep cutting out on me like that. It might not be the cable. It might actually just be the camera's software. And it is an old camera. I've had it for many, many years, so it's not surprising. Anyways, we'll just carry on with this stream here without my cam for now. Maybe later I'll try to get it back on. Maybe it just needs a cool down or something. I don't know. Let's see here. What's up, Jess? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Let's see. Supermarkets are crazy busy today. People in St. Lucia are definitely getting prepared. I'm glad to hear that, my friend. Definitely glad to hear that. Let's go ahead and hop on back over here, y'all, to some of the models. We're going to take a look and see, back over here with some of the hurricane models we're talking about overall. So we're going to start off with the HWRF. Now, once again, this is a new run coming through overall. So we work our way down in time here. We continue to roll our way down in time. We're expecting rapid strengthening over the next little bit. If you guys want to follow along in time, by the way, it's in the top right if you guys see there. That right there, my friends, is essentially where the time is, if y'all want to see that. But we work our way further down in time. We are expecting a gradual strengthening, gradual development until we reach the Lesser Antilles there. Unfortunately, this model has it going right there near St. Lucia. So there is a couple models that do show it, making landfall near that point in time. So we'll have to continue watching this. Lower level winds, we're talking, winds right now, maximum winds right around, according to this model, 100 knots or so. So that'd make it right around Cat 3 or Cat 2. But yeah, we're expecting a Cat 3 on landfall here. But then we continue to work our way further down in time, and then, yeah, this is the crazy model that gets this thing down in the 930 millibar range. So this model has it strengthening as it continues working west of the Lesser Antilles overall. So, we'll have to continue monitoring the other models and see if they kind of agree on that. But for now, this is like the really kind of the worst case scenario model there. Look at that. Yeah, this thing has that eye developing just before it makes landfall down there in the Leeward Islands overall, and it continues to roll its way out there to the west, possibly picking up some strength. And you can see it's barreling towards Jamaica at this point in time. So, yeah, we'll have to continue watching. This model's still rendering, so we're still getting some new data on it. But it's going to be coming real close to Jamaica, according to this model, and that's just how the path is in general. Hop into another model, the HMON. This is another model run here, so we work our way down in time. Once again, rapid strengthening, getting down into the 950 millibar range out there. We're talking, some really, really strong winds. This one has it a little bit stronger than my other model showed. This is the HMON. The last one was the HWRF. HMON here shows, a little bit more of a stronger cyclone, still right around the same pressure in the 950 territory. But, overall, we're definitely talking same time, like once again, for the late morning into the early afternoon is kind of when we are seeing the, late morning, early afternoon is when we are expecting the heaviest impacts to occur out here. So, prepare for that. But yeah, we're talking 950 millibar range out there overall. This one does not have an infrared view, so we can only look at that. Also, our radar there too. Yeah, so we're gonna probably start to see some of the bands approach. Maybe as early as kind of mid morning. Maybe mid morning for the first. Could start to see some of those bands start to get towards those islands. Definitely gonna be going on by 8 o'clock. But yeah, the heaviest of it's gonna be right there, right around late morning. Right around 11 a.m. Eastern time. So late morning, early afternoon here, and then of course. Continuing to roll its way here to the west overall. And now this model, like I said, this model here does kind of have it continuing as a pretty strong hurricane. This model per se has this thing tracking just south of Jamaica, right there, right around the 5 o'clock mark for July 3rd, according to this model. Definitely some of those bands starting to roll in, possibly as early as the late morning of the 3rd. We'll definitely have to see how that plays out, and then of course it continues to roll near the Cayman Islands there, and then this model has it potentially just carrying out there, maybe near over here's the Yucatan Peninsula far over, and then of course the Gulf entry point would be right here. But it continues northwest according to that in the model. That's where it ends there. So models they're agreeing on a very, very strong storm. In my opinion, I do think we're going to continue to see some strengthening after this thing goes past the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands. In all honesty, like I said, take this with a grain of salt. This is my opinion, okay? This is my opinion. I'm going to say my own opinion here. Take this how you want to. You can, I've been studying weather for years. I've been through a lot of these storms before. Based off of conditions I've been seeing, I wouldn't be surprised at some point in its life in the Southern Caribbean, it could be maybe a low-end Cat 4. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just saying my own opinion. I think it could. Models seem to be trending in my favor as well and showing that same idea. As we're starting to get more information on this storm here. We'll learn a lot more once the hurricane hunters fly into the storm as well, which I think they're currently en route to investigate the storm right now. There's 3 missions going on right now. I know one of them's a training mission in the Gulf. There's another 2 that's heading in the direction of the storm. So I don't know if they're getting any data on it or not. But essentially what they end up doing is they have these little probes. They're called dropsondes, and they drop them out of a bomb bay, or not really a bomb bay, but a little hole in the ground, and they drop these cylinder tubes into the hurricane, or into the tropical storm at this point. And it measures pressure, it measures temperature, humidity, dew point, all that stuff in order to, calculate to see how saturated the atmosphere is in that specific area. It also measures, the speed of wind direction as well. It measures wind speed by how fast, it has a GPS on it, and it detects how fast it moves in a certain amount of time. So distance over time gives you a speed. It kind of uses GPS in order to do that, from what I understand, with these dropsondes. But yeah, they'll drop them in the storm here later today, if they're already on their way now. And we'll learn a lot more, and they'll plug all that data into these hurricane models, and we'll end up learning a lot more about the storm. But like I said, at some point in time, as it passes the Lesser Antilles and gets into the Caribbean sometime around this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we did possibly get this thing, near upper Cat 3, maybe lower Cat 4. We'll have to see. Do I expect any landfall as Cat 4? No, I'm expecting that landfall to stick right around Cat 3, right where it's at. But I'm just saying, for a brief time period, there's a possibility it could, and it'll probably start to die out as some of those bands start to impact the land masses here. Because like I said, as these storms rub against the coast overall, and, first of all, they need to be over water in order to, use the warm ocean waters to their support by, gathering all that warmth. But also, as you roll close to these close to these land points here, depends on where it goes, but there's a lot of mountain ranges in the way. And typically, these mountain ranges can interfere with the lower level structure of these storms here in general. So, we'll have to just see how that plays out. When will it reach St. Lucia? So it'll reach that area right around the worst of it. Here, I'll go ahead and start off with the first waves. You could get some of those bands early morning, before sunrise. You'll probably get some of those bands starting to occur. Whenever it comes to it down in time, as we approach our way further, down the line here, we're going to start to get more of those heavier bands by later morning. And as we approach, late morning, right there, actually right around afternoon, that's probably when you're going to start to see the heaviest stuff. So this is for July 1st. July 1st, right there in the late morning to early afternoon, is when we are expecting that landfall, or the heaviest impacts to occur. We'll see if it makes landfall. I mean, there's a good shot it could slam one of these islands down here. But, it could squeeze between. But even, like I said, even if it squeezes between these islands, there's still going to be some really nasty conditions with it. Still the same, basically. It's going to be pretty impactful. So, like I said, please prepare for this, guys. Once again, definitely need to prepare for this. Once again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to get you all worked up and all scared. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to let you all know what it could do, what it's expected to do. And like I said, we actually use real sources here, like the Hurricane Center, which is a government agency. We're not biased to, some other channels. I'm not mentioning anybody, but. Like I said, y'all can trust what we say here, because I'm going off of facts and actual models and everything there. So I'm not trying to scare y'all. I'm just here to help out, and like I said, I'll be open to questions too if y'all have any. Let's see here. I think it'll be Cat 4-2 in landfalling on Jamaica as Cat 3. I think it'll fight off the wind shear. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's hard telling if it's going to make a direct landfall in Jamaica. The cone, obviously, and some of the models have it getting near. There is a possibility that the system could just roll to the north of Jamaica. It could go over Jamaica, or it could just roll south. Regardless, Jamaica's in the middle of the cone of uncertainty. Now, the cone of uncertainty is not where the effects are felt. That is where the center of the storm is expected to roll. So as of now, the middle of the cone is right here near Jamaica, of course. So there is a possibility that the center of that storm, the eye of that storm, could go over Jamaica. We don't know. It's still a little far. It's still, several days away. So as we get a little closer, we'll fine-tune. The models will become more on agreement with each other the closer we get to it. You know, it's possible. You know, it's possible that Jamaica could have a direct landfall. We're not entirely too sure yet, but regardless, Jamaica is likely going to see some pretty strong effects with this storm here. This will likely be here for the 3rd. So definitely, please prepare if you're out there in Jamaica. But obviously, the main the main current issue is the Leeward Islands here in the Lesser Antilles. And some of these surrounding islands as well. You know, once again, we're expecting landfall to be somewhere from, you know, this bottom point here, the center of the storm. As far south as the bottom of this red line here, or as high north as up here. There's a possibility we could get landfall out there by St. Lucia. It could go down towards St. Vincent or some of these other islands out there near Port Elizabeth or some of these other regions here in general. With that landfall, with the core of the storm going over. Now, like I said, once again, let me actually bring up a hurricane model here for you on this page here. I'll go ahead and load up our hurricane model here. So there's Burrell. This is where it's at right now. It's a little ways away. We continue to work our way down in time, and obviously this thing, you know, picks its way up there. This model has it going out there near St. Vincent and Port Elizabeth. You know, it's a little hard to be for sure exactly what point it's going to make landfall at, but you know, like I was saying, you, in that ring, that's where your eye wall is. You know, right there in that eye wall, that's where the strongest winds are going to be. And we're not too sure. I mean, the eye wall could be touching anywhere from as far north up here, maybe even a little higher out there towards St. Lucia, or as far down south as down here. You know, there's still a little bit of wiggle room. There's still a little bit of error margin. That we're dealing with here, but you know, we've obviously locked our eyes on the Leeward Islands here. At this point, we're expecting that. Once again, we're expecting that landfall or the heaviest impacts to be happening sometime late morning or early afternoon of July 1st. And around that time, as of right now, we're expecting the strength of that storm to be Category 3, with sustained winds of 115 miles an hour, with gusts up to 140. It'll continue rolling west, like I said. According to the Hurricane Center, this thing is not expected to gain or really lose any strength as it continues into the eastern Caribbean. But as we start to approach further to the northwest, as we get closer towards like southern Haiti and southern Dominican Republic, there's actually a little bit of a southern Haiti inside that cone as well, which, you know, even these regions here, I mean, even up towards Puerto Rico, I'd even say, could have some, you know, coastal problems. You know, once again, rip currents and all those problems could definitely be a problem for those regions. And, you know, some of the Virgin Islands and just, you know, a lot of these islands out here is going to be feeling the effects, at least by the waves and by the currents and all that stuff. You know, this storm is going to be really rocking up those waters down there. But then, I mean, like I said, continuing to the west here, as we approach our way out there for kind of the morning of the 3rd, we are expecting, you know, this storm here to, you know, once again, maybe weaken a little bit. According to the Hurricane Center, you know, there's some models that actually have it doing the opposite. You know, there's some models that actually have it strengthening by the time it gets near these areas. You know, that we still need to iron out. I'm not entirely too confident on that quite yet, but, you know, I'm just giving you all the official information here. This is what the Hurricane Center put. You know, once again, we're expecting the morning here of the 3rd, sustained winds of 105 right around, with gusts up to 125. So still a very, very, very strong hurricane at this point in time. And, you know, like I said, landfall could be as far, you know, north as, you know, the southern portions of Haiti, or it could, you know, go right over Jamaica. Possibility it could squeeze right between, like, areas between the Jamaica, portions of western Haiti, and even southern Cuba. There's a possibility it could just squeeze right between this little bay area here. And, of course, you know, it could just even go south of Jamaica. You know, that's also a real possibility. And like I said, for the people who's wondering, United States impacts. As of now, there's no concern for anywhere in the United States, so no need to worry. My folks on the Gulf Coast, like I said, monitor the system, but like I said, at the current moment, there's no immediate danger for you guys. At the moment, we're not expecting any landfall or any concern for the United States coasts, so as of now, we're good. So my people in the U.S., no need to worry. We're good for now. We'll continue watching the storm, and if it becomes a problem, then we'll obviously let you know, okay? So we'll keep you we'll keep you posted on it. But anyway, so yeah, but once we get down towards Jamaica, it's a little hazy on the models. The models start to spread out a little bit more, hence the cone getting a little bit bigger there from the hurricane center. So the center could go even maybe towards southern Cuba, southern Haiti, or go right through Jamaica. Could go far south of Jamaica. Regardless, impacts will be expected for Jamaica. I'll tell you that. There's definitely going to be some impacts in Jamaica, coastal-wise for sure. So we'll see how all that plays out here. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop on back to the models here. Yeah, that's just something I really wanted to, kind of show you guys in general. Now, another thing, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but like I was mentioning here, let me hop over back to GFS real quickly. I'm going to pull up, let's see, the north. Actually, we're going to pull up the Western Atlantic here. So, yeah, here's the bad thing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, like I said, but after Burl, once again, impacts here for the late morning, early afternoon of the 1st, out there towards the Leeward Islands in the Lesser Antilles. After Burl, as the system continues rolling, there's another storm. I hate to tell you this, but there's another storm that could be following right behind it. So there might be not one, but 2 tropical systems we need to watch. Now, this one is 96L. Right now, it's an investigation. It's not a named storm. It's nothing right now. At the current moment, like I said, this is Invest 96L right there. But right now, it's positioned pretty far away from the area. But yeah, we're expecting a very identical track to Burl as we are expecting with 96L. There is a real possibility that this thing could pick up some strength as it rolls over some similar waters. Enough moisture, lack of wind shear, as well as some warm waters could allow for some development of this storm. Of this storm as we work our way down in time. This one could impact more for the 3rd. So, getting one here for the 1st, and then maybe even the 3rd. We could have another one following right behind it. So, once again, my friends out there, not one, but maybe 2 tropical systems could impact down in time. Now, obviously, the GFS model going past this point, we're talking pretty far down in time here. Like I said, we're definitely talking, pretty far down in time overall. But, whenever it comes to 96L, like I said, we'll have to continue watching that one as well. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop over to the European model here. Now, the European model, this one's always been kind of like the European is one of the well-known models. But for tropics, I've always noticed the ECMWF is kind of like the best case scenario in terms of the weakest. Kind of shown, yeah, this is definitely by far the weakest that that any of the models show us. The ECMWF only shows like a tropical storm, but I will let you know that both systems do show that storm in general. As you can see, that little trough there, that little dip in pressure. This one shows it pretty weak, but like I said, this model typically likes to make things pretty low end. It's typically in the better case scenario overall. It typically shows a better approach, but like I was mentioning though, with all these other models here, for the most part, yeah, CMC model not really the best for the tropics, honestly, but it does show those 2 storms like we were talking about. Burl right there at making landfall and impact, and of course 96L maybe causing some impacts as well. What's up, James? What are we doing, man? But yeah, like I said, we'll have to monitor the progression of both of them. Let's see, 97 is not going to be a hurricane. It's not going to happen. You mean 96L? Well, 96L, like I said, as of right now, there's no support of this thing becoming a really, really big hurricane, 96L. It is an investigation. It hasn't popped up on here yet, but if we hop over here to, not the SPC, but the Hurricane Center, they do have an area of interest. We do have Disturbance 2 is what it's called. Here, let's hop over back to full screen here. Disturbance 2. Right now, we do have a decent chance of development, so we work our way over the next 7 days. We got ourselves bottom paragraph. You can see formation chance through 7 days high 70%. So that means within the next 7 days, there is a 70% chance that this storm could be a tropical depression or a tropical storm at that point in time. So there is a real possibility that this storm could, be developed overall. There's a real possibility that this storm could turn into another tropical system. But yeah, we are seeing another tropical wave roll its way to the west here overall. And of course, you might be noticing Disturbance 1 out there too. This one has a 50% chance of formation. This one could turn into a tropical depression later on, early next week. But once again, it looks like it's going to stay pretty low overall. So we'll see. let's see here. Watch the 12Z Euro. Definitely getting stronger. Let's see. Let's see, let's hop back over to models. Hurricane models. We'll do, Hurricane, ECMWF, Burl. 16 Zulu, or sorry, not 16, 12 Zulu hasn't came out yet. We have only the 6 Zulu run here as of now. Yeah, so the ECMWF kind of, once again, gives you best case scenario here. Let's move it back in so you get rid of that ad. Best case scenario there has, you know, this thing just remaining tropical storm. But at this point in time, you know, like I was saying, this thing is likely going to be, you know, like I said, this thing is likely going to be a big hurricane. Yeah. Once again, Euro is kind of underperforming here. Meanwhile, comparing to like HWRF showing a massive hurricane, even the GFS. I mean, look, GFS here showing the same thing. You know, pressure down there in the 960s. Pretty high for a low res model. And of course we have let's see here, like HMON, which is another model here showing the same thing. You know, pressure down there in the 950s. So, you know, whenever it comes to it, yeah, we are expecting Cat 3 upon landfall overall. So definitely pretty nasty. Yeah, especially that latest HWRF. This thing is just unbelievably wild. Here, let me show you all this here. So we work our way down in time. Obviously, you know, continuous strengthening here. We could start to see maybe an eye, you know, according to this model for the early portion of July, 1st of July there. But yeah, then it quickly develops an eye as it makes approach there towards the Leeward Islands and the Lesser Antilles. But yeah, look at this thing as it continues west. This model has it a massive hurricane. Possibly, this model is even suggesting Cat 4, maybe upper Cat 4 strength. But yeah, we continue to roll our way down in time. You know, this thing gets a really close approach there to southern Haiti and southern Dominican Republic. Definitely causing some bands to get out there too. And of course, as we approach our way there towards the eastern Jamaica, this model, the latest HWRF, actually has this thing making landfall down there in eastern Jamaica in general. So, like I said, we're not entirely sure if this thing's going to be a direct landfall over Jamaica, but we do know it's going to be close. You know, the center of the storm, so the center here, could go as far north as, you know, some of these areas down there in Haiti, maybe even like southern Cuba. It could just creep its way to the north. It could go to the south a little bit, or it could just go right through, which, you know, the middle point is right there near Jamaica. It seems like some of the models are supporting this thing making landfall in Jamaica. This thing has still a defined eye according to this model here, you know, out there south of Cuba. This is for the 4th of July. Go America. But yeah, you know, around that time being, you know, we could have that. So we'll have to see how that goes and how that plays out with other models. Here's another thing I want to show you. This is the latest. Oh, here's some. Yeah, this is really interesting. So here's the latest hurricane spaghetti models. You all know the spaghetti models. We know and love them. Here's the latest spaghetti model plot. Obviously, we are on pretty solid agreement of where this thing's making landfall. Once again, Leeward Islands, southern Lesser Antilles. That's where we're expecting landfall. So as we continue west here, this thing's going to be making a pretty close approach, maybe to southern Haiti. We are expecting the potential out there of, you know, possibly, you know, some pretty heavy coastal impacts regarding rip currents, maybe some large waves, and maybe some coastal flooding. We'll have to see. And then, of course, working our way to the west here in general, it'll work its way out there by Jamaica around that point there. There's Jamaica right there. But yeah, Jamaica, the middle point, a lot of the models have this thing going right towards Jamaica. So like I was mentioning, you guys in the Leeward Islands down there in the bottom of the Lesser Antilles and some of those islands down here need to prepare immediately. Like I said, as soon as you can, the better. If you can prepare today, then do it. Make sure you have water, make sure you have food, make sure you have your first aid kit, everything, your hurricane kit ready to go. Have it done, the sooner the better. Sooner the better. And then, of course, you know, same thing for Jamaica. I'm still a little more unsure of exact path with with the storm in Jamaica, but at this point in time, it looks like Jamaica is going to be dealing with a pretty strong amount of activity as well. Therefore, I do want Jamaica to prepare as well. Same thing. Make sure you have food, water. Just prepare for it. Earlier the earlier you can get it, the better. But yeah, I mean, at this point in time, it does look like it's going to be having a close, if not a direct approach to Jamaica in general. I prefer the lasagna model more. Yeah. So the spaghetti model, that's a good one. No, I prefer the Alfredo model, man. Alfredo models. Anyways, speaking of spaghetti models, here's the intensity guidance based off of those models. Now, let me go ahead and say, these models, I've always noticed this chart seems to sometimes underestimate it. But what you got to do in this type of chart, you got to kind of find that middle ground there, which is roughly right in there. Obviously, we're leaning more to the top of that line. Yeah, according to the models, there's a handful of them that does get this thing in the Cat 3 range. There is even a couple models that might suggest weak Cat 4 at some point. We'll see. We'll see about all that. But, whenever it comes to it, though, we're expecting Cat 3 once again upon landfall. We're expecting that Category 3 landfall there overall, as it approaches the Leeward Islands. But yeah, that's the latest. The latest intensity guidance there from the spaghetti models in general. Anyways, let's go ahead and restart. We're going to hop on back over here, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and talk about its current position, its current track, what it's looking like, what it's doing. So let's go ahead and hop over back to sat view. Here's Burl, Tropical Storm Burl. So like I said, last night we had this storm here. It just became a tropical storm last night. It's still a tropical storm, but like I said, it became a tropical storm last night. Had sustained winds last night of 40-mile-an-hour winds, so constant winds at 40. As of this morning, as of this afternoon, we have winds here sustained of 65. This thing has gathered 25-mile-an-hour sustained winds since last night. We're also gusting up to hurricane strength now. We're gusting up to 75, so we're definitely starting to get pretty strong on the winds there. Central pressure 998, so we've definitely dropped our quadruple digits, so we're now in the triple digits here. So we're down into 990s now. This will continue to drop as we continue west. Now, a big thing with this storm here, we are expecting this system here to become, like I said, we are expecting this system here to become a hurricane tonight, this evening. Right here, right around the evening, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, we are expecting this thing to be a Category 1. So by this evening, as it approaches these areas here, we are expecting this thing to be a hurricane. Once again, sustained winds at this point later tonight will be 80-mile-an-hour sustained with gusts up to 100. Now, then we continue more to the west. Now, by tomorrow morning, there's even a possibility this thing could be a Category 2 hurricane. We're expecting Cat 2 strength tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock in the morning here. At this point in time, sustained winds of 100 miles an hour with gusts up to 120, continuing its westerly movement. So that is what we are seeing as we approach our way into tomorrow evening. Now, we're going to be upper Cat 2, likely maybe even near lower Cat 3. We're just 5 mile an hour off from Cat 3. Might be a chance even tomorrow evening this thing could be a Category 3, but as of now, Cat 2 is what the Hurricane Center has. So tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern, sustained winds of 110 miles an hour with gusts up to 130. Then we work our way to the west. Now, as we approach the day of impact for the Leeward Islands in the southern Lesser Antilles, out there near some of the areas near St. Lucia, St. Vincent, some of those surrounding areas near Port Elizabeth, you guys are going to be dealing with, like I said, some likely major hurricane activity out in those regions there. So as we approach July 1st, for the morning, we're going to have the system here right around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time for July 1st. Sustained winds of 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 140. So at this point in time, we're going to be gusting up near Cat 4 strength. So we're going to be sustained at Cat 3. It's going to be a Category 3 hurricane. Sustained Category 3. So it's going to be a Cat 3 hurricane, but we could gust up to Cat 4 strength. So definitely could get a little gusty out there, but yeah, but as that rolls this way through, like I was saying, some of those deep islands down there, towards like Port Elizabeth and those regions, we're not entirely sure exactly where the center, where the eye of that storm's going to go over. It could go anywhere from up here to down here. So the center, the eye of the storm could go somewhere in that region. So there's a chance it could go right over St. Lucia, or it could go as far down south as out here towards Grenada, I think it is. Probably wrong on that pronunciation, but anyway, so yeah, then we continue west even as we roll our way into the evening of the 1st, so after impacts here in the Leeward Islands. Not really much of a change. We're still talking sustained of 115, gusts up to 140, really not weakening or gaining strength, but at this point in time, the models, the latest models I've been looking at here, as we've been seeing on this stream here, it does seem like like I said, it does seem like overall we might be able to strengthen a little bit, according to some of these models. We'll continue watching it. We'll see. Hurricane Center just has this thing, from the point of landfall, or the point of impact here in the Leeward Islands, all the way to the point as it reaches kind of the little bit more of the east central side of the Caribbean. Not really doing much, and kind of sustaining itself at 115 with gusts up to 140. But then, like I said, as we approach our way here for the 3rd, for the late 2nd going into the early 3rd here, we're going to start to have some impacts probably out there by, the southern Dominican Republic regarding, coastal issues with big waves, as well as, some rip currents and stuff like that. Same thing for even Haiti. The cone of uncertainty even has the system possibly even impacting or making landfall possibly out there in southern Haiti. It's unlikely at this point. It seems like more than likely it'll go to the south, but there is a chance, because you are still in the cone, that center could go over even southern Haiti there. But yeah, we continue working our way down in time here. There's also a chance it could go, in this little area here, or it could go a little south of Jamaica. Like some models do suggest, it could even go right over Jamaica. There's quite a few models that do support this thing going right there towards, like I said, there's a chance it could go right through Jamaica. That's why I want people and you guys in Jamaica to please prepare for this here, because like I said, when it comes to it, it does seem likely, regardless of wherever the center of that storm goes. It does seem quite likely that we are going to have some heavy impacts regardless. Once again, regardless, we're going to have a lot of coastal problems out here in general and all, I should say. Let's see here. It's going south of Jamaica. So harmonica, we don't know that for sure. It does seem quite possible that it could go south of Jamaica. You're right on that, but once again, we're not entirely too sure yet. Latest cone here has this thing, the center going right there near Jamaica. We'll see. We'll definitely see how that plays out. This thing could make landfall as far north as southern Haiti, or even, like going through this little bay area here out there towards, like southeastern Cuba on the southern side, or near Jamaica. But regardless, like I was saying, though, the main concern right now is my folks out there in the Leeward Islands, the Lesser Antilles. You guys have, like I said, you guys are most urgent at this moment here regarding it. Like I said, obviously Jamaica, yes, I want you to prepare down the line for the storm here. I want you to start getting water and food if you could, just to get on top of the storm here, just to be prepared for it. But Leeward Islands here, the storm is it's working its way towards you. It's not quite there yet. It's gonna take another few days, but once it gets to you, like I said, it's gonna be a pretty strong storm. And I want you all to prepare out there. If you're in the Leeward Islands out there towards like St. Lucia, down towards like Grenada, or however you say that, island down there, also out there near like Port Elizabeth and some of those regions near St. Vincent and, nearby islands out there. Like I was saying, impact here for the late morning of the 1st into the early afternoon is what we're expecting here overall. And, that is kind of what we're looking at here with this track. And once again, upon that point of time, Hurricane Center has this thing sustained at 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 140. We're gusting up to Cat 4 strength at that point. The wind gusts, what they peak to, could be up to Cat 4 strength, but the hurricane itself is a Category 3. Right there, sustained winds of 115 overall. So that is that. But anyways, let's go and hop back to some of these models, y'all. We're going to take a look at those. I'm going to go ahead and bring y'all back over here to the models. Let's go and hop over to the HWRF model. Let me just go ahead and say, though, with this model, this always has kind of tended to be like the worst case scenario model I've always noticed here. Whenever it comes to it, this model tends to make things like the worst case scenario. If you want to follow along in time, guys, it's in the top right. You guys can see that. This is an Eastern time, by the way, so Eastern time zone, 11 o'clock p.m., June 29th here, which we're later on this evening. Anyway, so at this point in time, we work our way down here in time. We're expecting rapid development here. Actually, I forgot to mention here real quick. Let me hop you back over here. So like we were talking about, this thing is expected to become a hurricane tonight. We're talking a hurricane developing tonight, right around this evening, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Sustained winds here of 80 miles an hour with gusts up to 100. So we are expecting, intensification to continue to occur over the next several days. It's not expected to weaken in the next several days. It's only going to be strengthening from here on out for a while. Like I said, hurricane tonight, Category 1, sustained winds of 80, gusts up to 100. Then by tomorrow morning, it seems quite possible we could even be Cat 2. 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning, we could have sustained winds of 100 miles an hour with gusts up to 120, which would make this a Category 2 hurricane. Then for tomorrow evening, we're going to be kind of teeter-tottering between upper-level Cat 2 and lower-level Cat 3. However, the Hurricane Center has another Cat 2 still, with sustained winds of 110, with gusts up to 130. So at that point, we'll be gusting up to, I believe, 130. Isn't that Cat 4? Up to Cat 4 strength, probably tomorrow evening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure 130 plus is Cat 4. Let me bring up the Safford-Simpson scale. Let's see here. It's been let's see here. Let me pull this up for the winds. Yeah, so 130 plus is Category 4. So while we are sustained at, while we're still sustained there at, upper level Cat 2, lower Cat 3. I mean, at this point in time, like I said, if it was 1 mile an hour over, it would be a Category 3. So tomorrow evening, maybe major hurricane. We'll see how it trends, how it continues to go. But yeah, we are going to hit Cat 3 here, here for the morning of the 1st, right as it causes impacts there in the Leeward Islands. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and mention that. So once again, tonight, it'll become a Cat 1. Tomorrow morning, could be a Cat 2. Tomorrow evening, upper level Cat 2, lower end Cat 3 potential. And of course, it'll be a Cat 3 by the time gusting up to Cat 4 strength in the southern Leeward Islands out there in portions of the Lesser Antilles out there. Let's see here. Cat 4 gust by tomorrow night. According to the Hurricane Center, we could have some gusts up to 130, which that would be gusting up to Category 4 strength. So here's the Safford-Simpson scale. Cat 4 winds is 130 to 156. 157 plus is Cat 5. So we're not going to get up there, I don't think, with this storm. But yeah, gusting up to 130 by tomorrow night. Here you can see max gust 130 with, like I said, timing the 30th being tomorrow around 8 p.m. Eastern. So possibly, as it approaches the Leeward Islands, they'll be definitely possible of Cat 4 wind gusts overall. But yeah, let's go and hop on back to models. Yeah, I just want to go ahead and point that out for you guys to, kind of show you all what's going on there, and I just wanted to go ahead and mention that with y'all. If you guys could do me a favor, if you haven't already, consider subscribing. I hate being that typical YouTuber asking people to subscribe, but like I said, we really do help out people here in terms of giving them the information. So if you guys could, it'd be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe, leave a like. Like I said, subscribing's free, guys. Just hit that button that says subscribe below. Literally a push of a button if you have a YouTube account. It'd be greatly appreciated. That way you guys can stay up to date as well. Plus, it helps the YouTube algorithm, because algorithm kind of sucks a little bit. But that would be greatly appreciated if you guys could. So anyway, so this is the HWRF model. Once again, continuous rapid development. So as we approach, the time of impact for the Leeward Islands here, you can see the Leeward Islands down there in the Lesser Antilles. We're going to get some of those bands possibly as early as early morning before sunrise. This will happen probably before sunrise. We'll get some of those outer bands from Burl. So we'll definitely need to, watch out there for that. Now the heavier impacts, are, those middle bands are going to start to impact probably later morning, and right as we approach afternoon, right around afternoon for you guys, maybe a little bit kind of mid-afternoon, we'll have that direct impact there. So at that point in time, we'll have the center of that storm impacting, the Leeward Islands out there. Once again, we're expecting Cat 3 strength at this point in time here, but this model here is showing some pretty strong activity there, with the pressure getting down into the 950 millibar zone. Let's take a look at our lower level profile here. Yeah, according to HWRF here, we're gusting up to right around 106 knots, so that'd put it right around, that has it a little bit weaker, actually. Hold on a minute. Safford-Simpson scale. So 106 knots, that would be, right around Cat 3 actually, right at lower Cat 3 overall. So this model is on point with the NHC. But this model, here's the thing though, this model actually has it picking up strength. Like I was saying, I think that's a real possibility with this storm here. According to the according to multiple models here, as this thing rolls through the Leeward Islands and the Lesser Antilles here, it definitely looks possible that we could get some rapid strengthening with this storm here. The pressure as we approach right here for July 2nd, as it's in the Eastern Caribbean, according to the HWRF here, the pressure could get down in the 930s. That would be borderline upper Cat 4 or lower Cat 5. But like I said, once again, this model typically kind of goes, lower, or sorry, upper end. It's kind of worst case scenario is what I'm trying to say. This model tends to do. At this point in time, look at that behemoth. quite a beast, if you ask me. This model really wants a real nasty hurricane here. I mean, Cat 4, maybe Cat 5 according to this model here. Like I said, personally though, guys, I don't think this will be a Cat 5. So, but my opinion, like I said, what I think maximum strength could be out of the storm is probably low end Cat 4 in general. So Cat 4, lower end Cat 4 is kind of the maximum potential I think this storm has. And that'll probably be once it rolls past the Lesser Antilles. That won't be at the point of Lesser Antilles, I don't believe. But yeah, like I said, definitely a really strong storm according to this model here. Now, then we work our way down in time. Now, this model in particular, the HWRF, has this thing slamming into eastern Jamaica. That's why I've been telling you guys. I mean, y'all are in the middle of the cone anyways. But I want Jamaica to prepare for this too. I want you to go ahead and start getting things together. If you live in Jamaica, obviously, especially the eastern side. I mean, really all of Jamaica for sure, because you're definitely going to be impacted, all of you. But, really the eastern side, we'll have to continue watching that. But, overall, I want you to prepare for it. I want you guys to, obviously have food and water ready to go in your safe spot, first aid kits and, just your hurricane supplies. Make sure you have all those together, days in advance before. The earlier you can get it done, the better. So that would be the best. But same thing for the Leeward Islands. For you guys down here, definitely want to make sure you all are, good with supplies. Make sure you guys are ready. This is definitely a very serious situation. This is very dangerous here. We really need to take this seriously because this will cause a bunch of problems for you guys. Especially with islands. Small little islands like this. A hurricane doesn't strengthen over islands like this. Now, if it hit like Cuba, obviously, yeah, it'd weaken very, very quickly. But this is not Cuba. There's no mountain ranges right here on these islands, really, from what I know, for one. But even then, it's such a small surface area under comparing to the size of the hurricane. This will not weaken that storm at all. That's the thing. So this thing will go over, and whatever strength it is, it'll hit you as, and it'll continue to be that strength as it rolls through. So that's the problem, is we're not expecting it to weaken as it approaches you. If not, get stronger as it's right near you. So anyways, once again, like I said, guys, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just being real with you guys. I'm trying to keep it realistic, and I'm just giving you the information that we're seeing here from models, from the Hurricane Center, from all these sources, just to kind of show you all and prepare you guys, because it's obviously way better to be prepared. I mean, obviously it's best to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. And whenever it comes to these situations here, I mean, we hope for the best. Hopefully somehow the storm weakens, which it doesn't look like it from models. But like I said, definitely best to prepare for the worst. So please take this seriously, guys. This could be very impactful for y'all. So make sure y'all are ready for it. That's all I got to say. Let's see here. It definitely wasn't that defined last night. Yeah, it does seem like the models have picked up a bit. Let me check on aircraft recon here. Let me see what the hurricane hunters are doing. We got a couple missions going on. We have a train mission. I don't think... Here, let me hop you back over here. We have a couple of missions. I think they might be I think they're lining up planes. We have a plane right here coming up towards Puerto Rico. Why is the surface 1,042 millibars? That's not right. That ain't right. Anyways, but yeah, we have a Hurricane Hunter aircraft going near Puerto Rico. They're probably gonna land somewhere within the islands here to get prepared for multiple flights, so they can refuel quickly. Because obviously doing a flight from Mississippi or Lakeland, Florida, from Gulfport or Lakeland is a pretty good distance away, you know, and you have to do multiple passes in that storm there too. So, Miss Anonymous, let's see here. No Saharandust or dry air. No, CAM's model, which I'll show you real quickly. CAM's model does not support any dust. So all that dust, we do have a bit of dust up north, but this is not going to be a problem for Burl here. Yeah, because all of that dust is going to be up to the north here. Let me go ahead and hop y'all over here to my full screen real quickly. We're going to pull up our dust down here. Got to scroll to the bottom. Dust aerosol. Here we go. Got to look at CAM's model, and we'll pull up the. Let's see here. Where is the way? Tropical Atlantic. Yeah, there we go. I'll be good enough. So let's go ahead and load some of that data. Go ahead and do dark mode. Who uses light mode? So anyway, so right now, yeah, you can see a lot of it. You know, it's going to have this area of the path. This is for the 1st of July, so it'll be right here at this point in time. All that dust will be up to the north and shouldn't cause a problem overall. Now, eventually, further down the time, now for 96L, or sorry, for that other disturbance too, that could have a little bit of dust involved with it. Maybe a bit of drier air. We'll have to see, but you know, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for it. Overall, but yeah, for the most part though, yeah, it's going to be above that system or above, you know, because as it approaches 1st of July, so right at this point, Burl will be right here, and it'll just creep right on by all that dust, so that won't be an issue. Let's see here, where will it hit? So this is going to be hitting. Let's see here, we're going to go ahead and hop you over here to the main program. So. This is going to be hitting the Leeward Islands here in the Lesser Antilles. This will be making landfall here for the late morning of the 1st into the early afternoon. We're expecting strength to be right around Cat 3 with sustained winds of 115 miles an hour with gusts up to 140. So that'll be for the morning, morning to the afternoon here of the 1st. And once again, Lesser Antilles. As it continues tracking, Hurricane Center has it sustaining itself, but I think it'll strengthen given you know, conditions do seem conducive for further development. So I think we could pick up a little bit of strength here. If it does reach Cat 4, like I said, in my opinion, I think it theoretically could get low in Cat 4 for a brief period of time as it goes past the Leeward Islands here. That's once again my opinion. You don't have to take that for anything. I would go off of the Hurricane Center, obviously, but, you know, my opinion from what I've seen in my past experiences from multiple systems, you know, obviously, I think we do have enough conditions likely for potential further development, you know, once it passes the Lesser Antilles. Now, it'll continue rolling west, and regardless, it could have some problems out there towards Jamaica, towards Haiti, maybe Dominican Republic, out there near Cuba. We'll have to see. Like I said, whenever it comes to it, it's, you know, a little further down the line, and it's a little more blurry. It's a little more harder to see what can happen that far out. But whenever it comes to it, man, you know, like I said, it seems possible that we could have landfall possibilities in Jamaica. So that's why I'm saying, you know, you guys in Jamaica definitely need to prepare for this here overall. You know, this is definitely a system you need to be preparing for. All right, let's see here. So yeah, once again, everybody, just, you know, if you're in Jamaica, please prepare for it. Let's see here. It's the Windward Islands. What? So these are the Windward, and these are the Leeward up here. See, I'm not entirely. I've always thought the Windward are up here and the Leeward are down here. That's what I've been told always. Plus the obviously all of this together is considered the Lesser Antilles overall. Let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and hop on back to models, y'all. We're going to take a look here. We're going to switch on over here back to the models. We're going to look at the latest model runs coming through. So, like I said, take these models with a grain of salt, y'all. Like I said, you know, don't take one model too seriously, you know, because they're all over the place. So, once again, just take them one at a time here. So, anyways, we work our way down. Yeah, my cat is making noise. He's just wanting attention right now, which I'll give him attention after stream. But like I said, when it comes to it, HWRF, we work our way down in time here. So for tonight, first of all, Hurricane Center, they want this system here to be a hurricane. So by later on this evening, there's a possibility that this system could be Cat 1 This cat is... you hear him? Goodness. So like I was saying, by later on this evening, there's a possibility this thing could be a Cat 1 with sustained winds of 80 miles an hour. HWRF has this thing rapidly strengthening from here on out. This one has it impacting. Let's go ahead and roll back a few frames here. Has those bands starting to impact, some of those lower islands down there towards the towards the, lesser Antilles in general. Some of those outer bands will start to impact out there, bringing those strong winds. That'll be right there for early morning, just before sunrise. Is kind of what we're seeing here overall. So then we approach our way further down in time for the late morning, early afternoon. That's when we're going to start to get some of those middle bands. Right there in the afternoon, we're going to see the worst of it. That is when we are going to be, seeing. The most heaviest impacts. That's where the eye wall is going to be near those islands there, and that's where the heaviest of the winds is and all that stuff. Yeah, my cat must be hearing me saying Cat 1, Cat 2. My cat's like, are you calling me? Oh man, that's pretty funny. Anyways, but yeah, so like I was saying, afternoon time. That's kind of when we're expecting the heaviest impacts there overall. So we'll continue watching that. So then we work our way further down in time. This thing should pull away by the evening, right around the evening, maybe late evening of the 1st, and it'll go away from the Leeward Islands. At that point, it'll be mostly through with those areas. But according to this model, now this is not what all models suggest, but if you look at the pressure, it's continually dropping. Now, if the dropping pressure is a strengthening storm, according to the HWRF here, we could have the pressure dropping into the 930s. Which is definitely very, very strong. Now, I'm going to give you all a little bit of a jump scare warning. Look at that guy. Yeah. So, according to HWRF here, this is showing, a very nasty cyclone, very well-defined, very symmetrical eye, tons of convection there towards the eye wall. When it comes to it, it's rapid strengthening is still anticipated, still is expected with this system. As we continue rolling through here, like I said, as we're rolling through here. So, we'll see about all that. Once again, my opinion, I do think it does have a little bit of time after it rolls through the Lesser Antilles to maybe pick up a little bit of strength here. We'll see how that plays out. According to this model here, though, yeah, pressure really, really dips down there into the the lower 930s, which is incredible. And that's, once again, this model. I will say this though. This model here has always been kind of the one that overhyped things, the one that kind of, takes it worst case scenario. So let's hop to another model, this HWRF. Now let's take a look at HMON. First of all, remember HWRF had this thing making that impact around a 950 millibar low, which that would be right around Cat 5, or sorry, right around Cat 3, not Cat 5. Once again, this system's not expected to be Cat 5. Don't expect this thing to get Cat 5. Like I said, at worst case scenario, the strongest I think this storm will ever get to is low end Cat 4, probably. And that's after it passes the Lesser Antilles. Anyways, this model here shows 950s. So then we hop our way over here to the HMON. This is another weather model here. Now this one's showing the exact same thing. Pressure down there into the 950 zone there. So we're definitely still talking a very, very strong cyclone with this system as well, or with this model as well, I should say. This one doesn't have an infrared view, so we can't see that, but we can look at our lower level wind profile, getting battered by hurricane force winds along the coasts of multiple of these islands down south. Tropical storm force winds are right there, kind of around that green color. That's where the tropical storm sustained winds begin. Gusting higher, remember that. So the green one's kind of, roughly tropical storm force winds. But yeah, once you get all this is like the eye wall stuff, the really, 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 really strong winds out there. So then we continue down in time. This model, has it kind of oscillating. It has it kind of, strengthening and weakening, strengthening and weakening. It's a little wobbly, strengthening maybe a little bit, and maybe weaken slightly as well at sometimes. But and then of course as it approaches near like. Hold on a minute. I had to sneeze, but it went away. So out there, as it approaches, more of the Eastern Caribbean out there, just south of like Haiti and south of Dominican Republic, it could weaken a bit according to this model here. This model has it going south of, Jamaica. So, but like I said, Jamaica needs to prepare for the worst here. I mean, because like I said, there's a handful of models that have this thing going right over Jamaica. And it's getting a little too close to your doorstep in Jamaica to, for any liking. So definitely be prepared. It's obviously good to be ahead of the storm, of course, when it comes to it. So yeah, prepare. Same thing even for the Cayman Islands, maybe eventually. Could be a bit of an issue. So we'll definitely see. Let's see here. My island let's see here. See, how do you say that island? I've always had trouble pronouncing it. It's Grenada. Let me, if you guys can help me with that, I'll be much appreciated. I'm not too sure of the name of it. Here, I'll hop you down here to the main program. So yeah, you're down here. This is your island right here. Yeah, there's a chance we could even have a landfall near Grenada, or however you say it. That could be all the way from your island all the way up to even St. Lucia. It could be within that margin. Is kind of what we are expecting. That landfall to be. But yeah, regardless, all these areas are likely going to have some, really, really, heavy impacts. With this system overall, it definitely seems quite possible. Let's see here. But guys, if y'all could, please do me a favor. Like I said, help share this to your friends and family. Just help spread the word, guys. It'd be much appreciated. Subscribe, leave a like if you haven't already. That way you guys can stay alert with the system, stay up to date with it. I'm going to be doing another coverage tonight, later this evening. So we'll get more updated models and stuff like that later tonight. But yeah, just know I'll be live with you guys again later on. Let's see here. Grenada. Is that Grenada? Okay, Grenada. Is it like grenade, but Grenada? All right. Well, I'll see if I can remember that. Hopefully I'm still... That'd be funny if I was still saying it wrong. Goodness. Anyways, but yeah, so the HMON shows the same thing. Just has that system, going south of Jamaica. Previously, like I was saying, the HWRF model here has a system going right over Jamaica, in general there. So we'll see. Let's hop down to another model here. We actually have a couple other, like HAFSA, another weather model here. So this one has it maybe a little bit weaker compared to the other models we looked at just now. This one has it down into the lower 970s, maybe upper 960s. Still a very, very strong storm out there. The infrared view on this one's a little weirder, as you can tell. But, overall, still is a very, very strong storm, still likely upper Cat 2 at this point here, even with this model, and this is one of the weaker models, but still, it does have it kind of oscillating like that other model. I think it was the HMON we were looking at, kind of oscillating a little bit. This one does have it maybe strengthening, weakening at some points overall. Later in time, it does look like this storm could encounter some dry air on the left-hand flank. You guys can see it does look like that. Like I said, it does look like there could be a little bit of, a little bit of dry air. Well, dry air is a problem. You need a lot of humidity in the atmosphere from lower to upper levels. But the eastern side's still staying pretty saturated. We'll see. I mean, that is one model after all. Let's look at HAFSB. It's the same model, just a different member or a different version, I guess, of it. But yeah, so this one, wow, yeah, this one has it strengthening a little stronger than its brother model. This one has it, in the mid 960s, kind of similar to how the GFS has this system. Most of the main models show it 950 millibar zone. This one has it in the 960s overall. So, yeah, I mean, whenever it comes to it here, definitely still a very, very strong storm here. Let's look at the infrared on this guy. Yeah, it definitely has some really, really strong convection. Actually, it looks like a lot more convection happens. I wouldn't be surprised if that strengthened a bit. This model, oh yeah, has it down getting in the 950s as it passes through the Leeward Islands there. So it does show a little bit of strengthening conditions. But yeah, look at this one. Once again, another model showing a direct Jamaica landfall out there. So whenever it comes to it there, like I said, Jamaica, please watch out for this. Same thing for the Cayman Islands even, later on far down the line. But, the models, there's a good amount of model support to have this thing going right over Jamaica. That's obviously not good. That's not what we want. So once again, my folks in Jamaica, if you know anybody out there, obviously if you're in Jamaica, prepare for this as soon as possible. And this goes to everybody. Like I said, if you're in the Leeward Islands out here, like I said, the main region we're watching this right now, and say you're in these islands there, consider sharing this to a family member or friends, as many people as you can. That way it can help them be prepared as well instead of just you. You know, obviously the more people we can reach, the more lives we possibly could help save here. Like I said, I'm hoping for no problems with any of that, but like I said, this information could be life-saving to a lot of people, and by you guys sharing and help spreading the word, you guys could help save lives too. It would be much appreciated. Like I said, it would be good for you to stay updated too, and it would be good for everybody else as well. So just please consider it, guys. I just want everybody to be prepared here. That's all this is all about here. But yeah, so that's like the main hurricane models. Whenever it goes to it, we're gonna go ahead and hop over here to the hurricane center here, or actually, you know what? We're gonna look at the spaghetti models overall. Again, we're gonna take a look at those guys. So here's the latest spaghetti. You guys know the spaghetti models known well. So basically, all these models run, and they're pretty close together, which means that there's a good amount of agreement. So within 48 hours, we are expecting that impact there towards the Leeward Islands out there overall. But yeah, here's the track of it. And you can see as it works its way to the west, yeah, we've already targeted, the southern Lesser Antilles out there. Obviously the southern Lesser Antilles. Then we continue working our way to the west. Now, between this point here and this point here, I definitely think that there is some margin for possible strengthening. That is where I think it could get its strongest. I think it could get its strongest somewhere in this point here. And like I said, my opinion, I think maximum strength could be low-end Cat 4. We'll see. We'll obviously see how that plays out. But I think low-end Cat 4, is maximum strength with the storm here. And I think its strongest point will be right in this area here. But then it'll start to lose a little bit of strength once it goes, gets near these islands here, near like, Dominican Republic and near like Haiti. Once it gets, closer to the coastlines, some of those bands will probably start impacting those areas, allowing for the storm to kind of weaken a little bit. And depending on what it does, it doesn't look like Haiti's going to get a landfall. At this point, it looks like the landfall point's going to be right over Jamaica, if not just shy to the south of Jamaica. That's where the landfall point of it, within the next 96 hours is going to be. So that is what we're talking about here. And then, of course, continuous westward movement out there towards the Yucatan Peninsula. Possible, according to the hurricane models, they start to get a little more gapped, as you can tell, with the northernmost being here. I mean, it's still pretty consistent. It's within a couple hundred miles. Shows a pretty small gap to fill, which is good because we're getting a bit more agreement here. But like I was mentioning, after this point in time, we don't know what's going to happen with the storm. At this point in time, the storm could go up north, could cut through the Yucatan, or it could just dive its way into Mexico. If it dive its way into Mexico, it would rapidly weaken, it would die out. If it goes over the Yucatan, it could weaken severely, and it could roll into the southern Gulf, maybe sit there, do whatever. Worst case scenario, obviously, is it tracking in the Gulf, yes, because the Gulf is very warm. We'll see about conditions further down in time. Once again, we don't know. This is a big question mark for us right now. This is a big question mark. It's a weird question mark, but it's a big question mark for now. So we'll certainly watch it. For up until this point here is where we really need to be focusing overall with this storm here. Once again, especially the Leeward Islands, yeah, you guys are going to be heavily impacted down there. The Lesser Antilles on the southern side. I don't know I'm still not too sure if it's leeward. I've heard people say it is the windward down here. I've heard people say it's the leeward down here. The way I've always thought of it is this is the windward, these are the leeward, and all this together is the Lesser Antilles. But I've heard that this is the windward, these are the leeward, and all of it's the Lesser Antilles. I'm not too sure, so if any locals could help me out with that, that'd be appreciated. I've heard both people say different ways, so I'm kind of being pulled in directions. Not too sure, but anyways, but yeah, like I said, we'll continue to watch this system overall. Whenever it comes to the intensity guidance here, like I said, this is the overall intensity guidance from the, from the hurricane models. They're very, very spaced out, as you can tell. Yeah, this thing's already an upper upper tropical storm. It's getting close to Cat 1 strength. Like I said, we are expecting this storm to become a hurricane tonight. Category 1 strength. It's getting close, actually. So as we approach our way up there, it'll be pretty close. So yeah, we're expecting rapid strengthening with the storm here to occur. Maybe kind of dwindle down a little bit over time as it gets closer to those other islands. Once again, like Haiti and Dominican Republic. As it gets a little closer to more landmass there, it'll start to gradually weaken a little bit. But its peak looks to be pretty well into Cat 3. A lot of the models have this thing in Cat 3 strength, which it seems very likely. So we'll see. There's one model that has it going in Cat 4 strength as of the last. Yeah, this is brand new, actually. This is a new update with y'all. Okay. So this is an ensemble. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. Like I said, don't freak out what you see off of this here. Overall, like I said, don't freak out what you see here. These are ensembles. This is just one model with a bunch of members. So when it comes to it, you can see there's a very big gap right here. The models, they do not know what's going to happen at this point. You see some of them going down here, some of them going into golf, some of them going this way. Like I said, we don't know. So like I said, try, if you hear anybody online, I cannot tell you how many people I've seen do this. There was a person a couple days ago who was saying that this thing was going to hit Florida on Twitter. People who think that they can forecast with that. Now, try to avoid that and hear it here from here. You can only, at this point in time, we can only pay attention to these areas right here. Anything over here, we cannot pay attention to right now because there's not enough models to support any of it. Like I said, I've heard people say that there is, this thing's gonna hit Florida or this thing's gonna hit Texas. I've had people say both. Please, if you see that, don't think it's real. Avoid that, because like I said, right now all we can focus on is right here. That's all we can focus on is this area here. Over here, completely unknown, and it's too far out to tell. Even models are having a hard time out there. So. Just want to let you all know that. But anyways, just trying to help y'all out with, overall. Leeward are the northern, windward are the southern. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. What's the chance of the system moving further south into, was it Grenada, I think it was, right? I already darn forgot. But yeah, let's hop over here real quickly. So you are in a cone of uncertainty, which means that the center of the storm could pass near you. You're definitely in an area that could be heavily impacted. I would highly consider watching this region here. The probability, obviously what you could do, it depends on how big the eye is. There's a lot of ways to calculate this, but, the middle point more than likely, or the center. Okay, here, how about this? I'm trying to explain this the best I can. So let me zoom out a little bit. So you're right here. Okay, you got to think. So even if the eye hits right here, there is more area here to cover. So more than likely it'll be more up here than it will be down here, if that makes sense. So, you got about 25% over here, and then you got about 75% over here. Does that make sense? And you're on the lower side, so more than likely it'll be landfalling north of you. Hopefully that makes Grenada. Sorry, thank you. My bad. Yeah, so like I said, it's like something like that, roughly. 75 and 25. So more than likely it'll pass to your north. But like I said, you're still in the cone. There is still possibilities it could shift towards you. So we'll see. Grenada. I gotta think of a grenade. Grenada. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Overbuilt says, Andy is great. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I try to do the best I can to inform y'all with the latest and everything, and try to give y'all the most up-to-date, most accurate information. Like I said, it's greatly appreciated. I appreciate all your support, y'all. Once again, thank you for the subscribers, just for hanging out, watching with us today. Like I said, it means a lot to me. It's greatly appreciated, and thank you, seriously. Let's go ahead and hop on back over here to the Hurricane Center graphic here for a minute. So this is the latest graphic from the Hurricane Center. M stands for major hurricane, not for mature in this case. This is for major hurricane. So we have ourselves, like I said, these pink areas here. This is hurricane watches. So this is where we are seeing hurricane conditions possible down in time. Okay, so obviously in the pink, you need to be preparing immediately. Across the yellow, these are tropical storm watches, where tropical storm conditions are possible down in time. Okay, so when it comes to it, once again, this thing's expected to be a Cat 1 hurricane tonight. By evening tonight, we are expecting this thing to be a Cat 1 with sustained winds of 80 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, possibility of Cat 2. Same thing for tomorrow evening. Probably upper level Cat 2, lower end Cat 3 by tomorrow evening. And then once we approach our way for the morning of, obviously, the 1st, that's when we can expect overall this thing to become a major hurricane in Cat 3. So, yeah, once again, the pink there, that's hurricane watches in effect out there. And like I was also saying, the yellows are tropical storm watches. And as, like I said, we continue to work our way down in time. We are expecting this thing to continue to be a hurricane as it goes through near Jamaica. So we'll keep an eye out there for it. Let's see, thumbs up button helps the channel. Absolutely. Thank you, Overville. I appreciate your support, man. I deeply, deeply appreciate your support. Thank you all once again for everything. Appreciate it. And once again, we'll do another update tonight, too. I think we're probably going to roll off here soon. I've been live for 2.5 hours already on this stream, so I got some things I got to do today. But I'm glad y'all enjoy it. And also to the people who have donated to us as well. I appreciate y'all's support, guys, especially like Proxy. Thank you. Like I said, it helps keep us rolling. Y'all's funding helps keep me afloat, so thank you for that. I can't thank y'all more than enough. All right, we're going to go over everything one more time before I roll off tonight, or for now. But once again, we'll be back later tonight, and that's another reason to subscribe and turn on those notifications. That way you guys can get alerted when I do go live tonight here, so we'll be live for y'all tonight. But let's go ahead and go over everything one more time. Starting from where it is, what it's looking like, what it's doing. So here's the current, like I said, this is the current view of the storm right here. We are obviously, undergoing some intensification here. Wow, got a new band of convection there towards the center of that storm starting to kick off there. See all that black there? Yeah, it's starting to show that the storm is, still picking up some strength, still some pretty strong convection near that center. So it's still strengthening. Like I was saying, last night, this storm became a tropical storm. It had sustained winds of 40 miles an hour last night overall. And right now it's up to 65, so it gained 25 mile an hour winds since last night. Sustained winds of 65, gusts up to 75, with a central low of 998 millibars overall. What's my opinion on reaching Cat 4? I think maximum strength of this storm could be low in Cat 4. That'll be after, I think, the Lesser Antilles. I think that'll be somewhere in this body of water. A lot of models do show some potential development, some potential strengthening as it passes the Windward Islands here. As it passes the Windward Islands and rolls to the west here, there is a possibility that it could, strengthen a little more. And I think if it did get Cat 4, it would be at this point in time. Upper Cat 3, lower Cat 4 is where I'm thinking maximum strength will be, and it'll be in this area here. But yeah, so back over here to where it began. Like I said, last night it was 40 mile an hour sustained. Now it is 65 mile per hour sustained with gusts up to 75. So we're gusting up to hurricane strength now. That is right at hurricane force winds there. So then tonight, like I said, we're expecting this storm to become a hurricane tonight. This evening, we're expecting this thing to be a Category 1 with sustained winds of 80 miles an hour with gusts up to 100. This will be right here for the evening. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time, or Atlantic Standard. So 8 o'clock Eastern is when we are expecting this system to become like I said, Category 1 storm. Now, by tomorrow morning, when you wake up, more than likely this thing will be possibly even a Cat 2. We're talking sustained winds of 100 miles an hour with gusts up to 120. Obviously, this will be for the morning of tomorrow, for the 30th. By tomorrow evening, there's a possibility it could be an upper Cat 2, lower in Cat 3 maybe. Could be a major hurricane tomorrow evening, late. Possibility. Sustained winds of 110 miles an hour up to gusts of 130. Like I said, just shy a few miles an hour. I think it's only shy it's only shy of 1 mile an hour of being a Cat 3 at this point. So it's right on that teeter-totter, right between Cat 2, upper level, and lower Cat 3. So then we're going to start having impacts here towards the Windward Islands, the lower portion of the Lesser Antilles. It's going to be hard for me to wrap my head around that. I've always called these the Windward and these the Leeward. because I always thought leeward's lower. I don't know why I always thought that. I've heard people have told me that these are leeward, these are windward, but I've found out that these are windward and these are leeward. And all of this is the Lesser Antilles. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, as we approach our way here for the morning of the 1st, which is, I believe, Monday. So as we approach the 1st, we're early, just before sunrise, we're probably going to start to have some of those bands start to impact those islands out there towards Grenada. Also out there towards, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, some of those regions out there. We'll definitely start to get some of those bands around that time for early overall. So as it progresses into later morning, we're going to get some more of those middle bands. And as we approach into early afternoon, that's when we're going to have landfall or the heaviest impact of those winds and hurricane conditions for these islands down here in the Windwards. So overall, definitely got to be prepared for this here for July 1st, right there in the late morning, early afternoon here. So then we continue after this. Now, this is where my opinion kicks in. I think we could continue to see the storm strengthen as it passes away from the islands here. All conditions seem conducive regarding wind shear, sea surface temperatures, as well as moisture supply. Does seem in place, and it does seem maybe we could have a little bit more intensification. But the Hurricane Center, they say it's going to stay the same, sustaining still at 115 with gusts up to 130. Same thing as we roll into the 2nd. Same thing, 115 sustained with gusts up to 140. But then as we get a little closer to these Caribbean areas, such as Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, as we start to get some of those bands rolling up against some of these territories here, we're probably going to weaken a little bit. According to, obviously, the models, it looks like we're going to be weakening a little bit here. According to the Hurricane Center, they're saying that. Some models support it. Some models have it continuing to, kick off pretty strong. We're going to have to really start watching out there for, like, Haiti. We're expecting that center to go over Jamaica, if not under Jamaica. There's still a possibility it could pull to the north, but it seems like it'll be either Jamaica or south, more than likely right now, is where that center or the eye of the storm will go. So that is what we need to watch out there for. But yeah, so the impacts for Jamaica is going to be here for the morning of the 3rd. So the 3rd, this thing's going to be a Cat 2 just off the coast of Jamaica, sustained winds of 105 according to the latest Hurricane Center outlook here, with wind gusts up to 125 overall. So, and then, of course, it continues to weaken according to the Hurricane Center as we reach the Cayman Islands. So Cayman Islands could be seeing hurricane strength, possibly Cat 1 sustained of 90 with gusts up to 115. So we're still talking some upper level, we're still talking upper level Category 1 strength at this time being. So that is what we are looking out there for that. Now, like I said, what happens after that point, we don't know. So that's what I was saying. Anywhere in the United States, don't worry about the storm right now. We'll keep an eye on it. If you live in the Gulf Coast, just keep a close eye on the storm over the next several days. But like I said, right now there is no reason to panic, no reason to be worried in the U.S. because as of now, we don't even know if it's going to hit the United States. It could weaken, it could die out, or it could hit somewhere else by then. We don't know. So if you hear anybody talking about the U.S. with this system, just try to tune it out because it's too early, okay? Obviously, I want you all to figure out what's good forecasting from bad. And right now, anything out here is bad forecasting. And if you see anybody saying that, don't trust it, okay? Because we don't know. The storm is way over here. What makes you think we can understand what's going to happen all the way over here? That is a long distance. The most that we can get up to is up here. And even then, we have a pretty wide margin, a very big error field of where the storm could go. So once again, if you see any forecasts for the U.S., please just know that they're not right now. I've seen a lot of them on Twitter. A lot of people thinking they know how to forecast and trying to forecast something that's impossible to. So just a heads up. But yeah, so that's what the cone. Let me go ahead and hop on back over here to the overall spaghetti models here from the storm here. Let's go ahead and hop over here to that overall. I'm going to go ahead and bring up our spaghetti models for you. We'll take a look at those. So let's go ahead and hop on over there now. So here's the spaghetti models. Whenever it comes to this system here, we are expecting, once again, the Windward Islands, the lower islands here in the Lesser Antilles to be impacted with this system here. Once again, this will be taking place for July 1st. So that'll be that. You can see how close together these models are, which is good. The closer together they are, the more they agree on it. And you can see up to the point of landfall there, or past the point of landfall, I should say, there is a lot of agreement here. So yeah, overall, that's that. It does seem like we get a little bit more thicker, more of a gap between as we approach near Jamaica. And then all the models go haywire. They go all over the place. There's some that go up towards the Gulf, and some that just dig its way into Mexico. Tatch says, don't trust any forecast past Jamaica. Yeah, pretty much. At this point, do not trust anything past Jamaica. And like I said, even with Jamaica, we're not even sure if this thing's going to make landfall or if it's just going to pass to the south. Or there's still a small chance that it could pull to the north, but it seems like we're kind of ruling that out lately. It seems like it's going to be passing to the south of, or passing to the south if it just misses Jamaica. If not hits Jamaica, we still don't know yet. But yeah, it's just a little hard to tell out there. You know, there's, like I said, there's a couple days, or like 2 or 3 days ago, there was somebody that was saying the storm was going to hit Florida, and it was way beyond the point here. So that's what I'm saying. Please just try to look out for false forecasts. This is official stuff here. This says seek official info, obviously. But yeah, you don't want to make official decisions off of spaghetti models. You want to go off of the Hurricane Center, which we have been. That's what that whole track was before. Just want to let you all know that. But yeah, these are the spaghetti models. Like I said, we'll just continue watching them. Here's the strength based off of them. Multiple, rapid intensification is anticipated by most models, so that's the most likely route we're going to take here. And of course, kind of maxing out here right around Category 3, which is expected right now. There is a model or two that goes up in the Cat 4. We'll see about that. We'll keep an eye on it, see if it changes any as we continue to get more updates and stuff like that. But here's some ensembles, just some more model data. Once again, don't trust anything past Jamaica. My exact point, I'm just showing you this because of how wild it gets the further you go out. I mean, the intensity guidance based off of pressure, as well as the track, is just unbelievably different. So don't trust anything in the Gulf. Like I said, we don't even know if it's going to go in the Gulf. I mean, more than likely it could, but overall, that's way beyond this point of being reasonable at this time being. So, and then here's some more ensembles here. Some of the models show it going near the Gulf. We'll see. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on the extended range here further down in time. Right now, like I said, we have hurricane watches in effect for the Windward Islands down there in the southern or the lower Lesser Antilles. In the pink there, those are hurricane watches, meaning that hurricane conditions are possible down in time. Honestly, they're likely going to occur, so we're going to likely have a lot of hurricane warnings for these areas eventually. Tropical storm watches are in effect across the yellow areas where tropical storm conditions are possible, so we'll continue to watch that there as well. Now, the last thing I do want to do with y'all before I head off here, like I said, we've been live for over 2.5 hours. Once again, I appreciate y'all being here, and if you guys could, before we head out there, please consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button. That would be much appreciated, my friends. Like I said, we're here to help you out. I'm here to help give life-saving information. So if you guys could at least hit that subscribe button, maybe share this, it would be much appreciated. That way we can help get that word out there. Anyways, so we work our way down in time. We continue to roll our way down. And, obviously this thing's going to go under rapid intensification here. So we'll just continue to watch that here, and as we approach the Lesser Antilles here for the first, as we approach the Windward Islands there, we are going to be seeing the pressure from this model in the 950s overall. So we are seeing rapid intensification until the point we reach the Lesser Antilles there. This will continue to roll through. This model does show strengthening, which I think is certainly possible. This model is kind of worst case scenario. Like I said, infrared's looking pretty nasty as well. That eye becomes really nasty looking. So like I said, yeah, some models have this thing a little more worse than others. But yeah, bottom line, this thing is going to be strengthening up until the point we reach Lesser Antilles. Impact, that point of landfall is going to be sometime in the late morning, early afternoon, I think, is what we're thinking here regarding timing with that system overall. And like I said, right as of now, we're talking Cat 3 strength upon impact there in the Windward Islands. Once again, with sustained winds there of 115 with gusts up to 140 there overall. So that is kind of what we are dealing with that. Let's go take a look at another model. Look at the HMON here. We'll see what's going to go on there with that. Let's see here. Yeah, this model has it getting down into the 950s as well as it approaches the Windward Islands there. Also showing that impact there near late morning, early afternoon. It continues to roll through. It starts to weaken as it gets a little closer to these land areas, but could go south of Jamaica according to this model here. The other model, the HMON, let's pull it up again real quickly. Sorry, HWRF. This is the HMON. HWRF has this thing kind of riding through Jamaica and actually kind of a little slightly north, riding right on the coast there. Look at that. That low is right on the coast there. So we'll see. We'll definitely see here. But overall, I mean, that's kind of where we stand with everything, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a stream. Like I said, we're gonna do another update. We call them updates here on our channel. That is my official term. So weather updates. We'll do another tropical update here later on for tonight. That'll be right around 9-10 Eastern time, anywhere from 9 to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time tonight. That'll be 8 to 9 Central Time tonight. So somewhere around that time we'll go live. We'll have more model runs out. We'll have a whole new set of Hurricane Center outlooks. Everything will be all new and stuff like that. But just want to go ahead and say thank you everybody for joining us. I deeply appreciate it. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing on your way out. We greatly appreciate it. It helps YouTube out too with help keeping, like I said, help keeping us going here. So I appreciate it. A special thanks to our donators. We had a couple donators today towards the beginning of the live stream here. I appreciate it. So let me go ahead and say once again a special thanks to our donators. We had a couple of them. We had 3 donators. Sorry, my page wasn't updating. We had Tabletop. We had Jason. We had Proxy. As well as Street Logic and Pilot. Thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate your donations. Like I said, you guys are the ones that help keep making this possible. Without y'all's donations and y'all's support, I wouldn't be able to do this because, you know, these programs cost money, and plus, you know, this is what I do for a living. So I really appreciate anything that y'all give me. So thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart for that. Like I said, if you would like to support us, we do have our Venmo, stuff like that. It's up there in the pinned comment there. It's just NW116 for our Venmo. If you would like to, like I said, I'm not telling you guys to. You don't have to. Just saying it's there if you want to know how. That way, you know, like I said, it's greatly appreciated. And just know that anything is greatly appreciated. But alrighty, you guys. Well, once again, thanks for joining, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. Like I said, we'll catch y'all later tonight, though. We'll be up for another update for you guys. Once again, 9 to 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 to 9 o'clock Central. Somewhere around that time zone, we'll go live for you. But once again, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Thank y'all for just hanging out, even if you just tuned in here for the first time and all that, just stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And alrighty, y'all. Once again, thank y'all. If you guys could, once again, leave a like, subscribe on your way out. Be much appreciated. And alright, my friends, once again, thank you so much for being here, y'all. We'll catch y'all later on, and you guys have a great day. See ya later, my friends. See ya in the next one. Peace out.